All right, what's up, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. Thank you for being here today. See what we got going on here. I'm going to be, oops, hate it when it does that. Let me know when you guys see me. That's not what I want to do. There we go. All right, just trying to get set up real quick. Just a little bit of an impromptu, how do you do? Want to check and see how everybody's doing. Hope everybody's having a good morning. We're going to do a little bit of a coin roll search. We're going to be looking through some buffalo nickels here. I'm thinking most of these are going to be in the 30s. There may be some earlier dates, not quite sure exactly what we're going to be seeing. We'll wait and see kind of what happens on that front. Trying to get some things to open up here just a second. Hope everybody's having a good morning. All right. For some reason my goofy chat isn't working. You guys seeing chat on your end? There we go. Hey, Snoopy, what's going on? There we go, Peter. All right, so now I'm starting to see somebody. Oh, man, my hobo nickel one started up. This is not the one that I wanted to do. Hate it when this stuff happens. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's okay. Whatever. Here's what it is. We've got two different things trying to pop up. This is why trying to set up last minute. Early morning streams are a pain in the butt. But we'll get there. Hope you're doing well. Fun stream, Snoopy. That was a lot of fun. You did good. You always do good, though. It's always fun to hang out with you guys there. Trying to get this done. Trying to see if I can figure out how to pull this out. All right. So we got the chat showing up now. We got some things coming in. Outstanding. We're going to be looking at... Oh, man, it is what it is. You know, it's just, it happens. It's not going to be about hobo nickels. Unfortunately, it's just going to be buffalo nickels, but I do have a hobo nickel here, actually. Here, I'll do this. Check that out. Those are cool. I love those things. We'll be talking about that later on. Yeah, I went to bed early, and I could not sleep. Teenage boys have a problem with being quiet. Hey, SkyQuest, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. They have a real issue with being quiet. It woke me up, and of course, once I wake up, I can't go back to bed. So I was like, screw it, I'll go live. So I figured I'd just come up and hang out and see what was going on with everybody. So what we got going on in here is a hobo nickel. Obviously, they take one of those and make it one of these. I'll be talking about this later on today. Later this morning, we'll be kind of breaking this out. There's a bunch of different people who do this. There are people, just general artisans. Now, the one that originally, well, I shouldn't even say originally, but the one who kind of was the most popular for doing the hobo nickels, his name was Bo. It's actually George Washington. Can't remember his last name. But he was a hobo, an actual hobo. A knight of the road, somebody who's more gypsy than kind of bum or vagrant. And so what they would do is they would just kind of travel around and cruise around and just kind of go where the work took them. Hobos actually go where the work is instead of a bum, which they just kind of hang out and do whatever and panhandle. A hobo will actually navigate and and go to places. Back in the day, they would use rail lines and they would use the railways. So a lot of times when you see stories about hobos, you see them hanging around the, maybe, let me pull that up. Hold on just a second. I'm still trying to set up here. I don't know what I was thinking. Trying to set up 2 streams. I used to be a hobo. Well, you go where the work takes you. You know, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. And some people don't like the, you know, rigmarole and the kind of day-to-day kind of grind and crap that people do. And they just don't want to live that way. That's not what they want to do. That's not that's not who they are. It's not what they want to be. And I mean, obviously you can't complain about that, right? And so what would happen was that, hey Anthony, how you doing? Good to see you, bud. Thanks for coming into the stream. Appreciate you being here. You know, you'd go where the work took you. And so unfortunately, I opened up 2 windows. One of them was supposed to be for this morning's stream, so I'm going to have to rerun that when this is over. I'll probably wipe that other one out and rerun over the top of that. But so anyway, we got those in portrait landscape mode. If you're in one mode and want to go to the other, let me know. I will throw the link in so that you can see it in the other side. I know some people are going to be seeing it in vertical. Some people are going to be seeing it in portrait mode. So hopefully the primary is going to be portrait mode just because of the time of day. But yeah, so again, later on I'll be talking about this. I just released a video where it was essentially a reading. It's a creative license kind of reading type thing where I took a story written by somebody else and then I broke it down and truncated it into more of a kind of a short story reading than it was a history of the hobo. So we'll be talking about the hobo nickel again later on this morning. What I wanted to do is I got a roll of buffalo nickels here, varying dates. Most of them are going to be from the 30s, but I want to pull up some of the resources and see what we got, and then I want to go ahead and go through those, see what we can figure out, see if we can't get a couple of these set aside, and I'm going to start working on filling a buffalo nickel book. Probably pick one up later today, maybe from Ringmaster Ray or something like that. So, David Carlisle, Dave's not here, man. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Thanks for being a channel member. I appreciate your support and for being a mod. That's awesome. Snoopy and a pain in the ass. Thank you guys for being channel members. I definitely appreciate you. SkyQuest, thank you so much for being here. It was good to see SkyQuest. Picked him up to go see the eclipse. Very, very unfortunate that the weather did not cooperate here in San Antonio. It kind of sucked. It was all cloudy and crap, just kind of a bummer. But yeah, no worries, brother. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. It's but it got dark. Yeah, they got dark. So you know, we got to see something. I had a good time that morning. We did that live stream and kind of ran through and showed everybody what was going on. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove this hobo nickel here, and I'm going to go ahead and I am going to pull up and see what we can do. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to open up another resource and I'm going to go to Variety Vista. Now I'm going to be sharing Variety Vista with everybody just so that they can kind of see what's going on here. As we look through these particular items, I will be changing back and forth so you can kind of see what's going on. In order to search this, you come over here, you click on Buffalo Nickels, and then it will bring up information here. You can change this to see mint mark styles. Let me actually reduce this down a little bit. There we go. This is going to be really small. I'll be making it bigger when you can see this. Kind of walking through some of the steps you need to do in order to find things. But once you get to Variety Vista, you come over here, you can look at various things. So I know what the mint mark styles are going to be. I'm expecting most of these to be Philadelphia. There may be a couple of these that are going to be Denver or San Francisco. And when I get to the Denver and San Francisco, I will be looking at that aspect, but I'm going to primarily be looking at my DDO listings. So I have the sheet up here. What I'll do is I'll navigate to whatever year it is. So let's say, for instance, I got a 1927 Philly, and then I'll be looking at this area here. Now, unfortunately, let's pull this up. You can see that a little bit better here on the screen, here on the right-hand side. You'll see that there's just this little doubling here within the nose. There's not a whole lot to really go on. And so if you look at the actual buffalo nickel, you're going to be looking, now this is a 36. So let's get to something that's 36. All right, let's see, 1936. There we go. So we have a couple of things that we're going to be looking on the obverse. We're going to be looking primarily at the Liberty. So in this case, we'd have to go back over here, and we're going to be looking at the Liberty. So in order to do this, I'm going to have to zoom in just a little bit, not too much. You want to be able to see a majority of the coin when you're looking at stuff like this. And I want to be looking at Liberty. Since Liberty is basically the only thing that shows up here, you're going to see the doubling, the extra thickness in the L here, and you're going to be seeing the extra thickness in the L here. If we see anything in the 1936 that look like this, then I'll be coming in. I want to be able to kind of look through these, get a feel for the things that I might be seeing while I'm doing this. Hey, Washington State Jags fan. Hey, thanks for being in here. Appreciate you being in here. So as I walk through some of these things, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be pulling these up and looking at you, or showing you these particular items. If I run into a 37, for instance, again, we'll be looking at the double in Liberty. A majority of these are going to be in Liberty. So I'm going to be looking pretty much at the same place of every coin. So what I might do is I might come down just a little bit more. Let me come down just a little bit more and look at this. Now I know there's nothing on this particular coin, but I just want to show you the area that we're going to be looking for on the obverse. When we flip this over, we're going to be looking at the reverse. There's a couple things that we're going to be looking at here. You can see this is at one time an ender. You can see that ring of death there around the edge of this coin. See that cut in all the way around the edge of that coin. They call that the ring of death. So if you ever see that, you know what they're talking about. So let's go ahead and come back over here. Let's check out and see what we got as far as DDRs. So we'll come over here. DDR stands for double die reverse. So we'll go ahead and click over here. We'll scroll down and we'll notice that there is nothing for 1937. So anything that I'll be looking 1937, there is not going to be a double die. However, there is one for 36. So the two things that I'm going to be looking for if I come across something that's a 1936 is I'm going to be looking at the United. So we'll come back over here to the coin and we'll come up here to the United. So the United is where we're going to be looking. So we're going to be focusing basically on two items within these coins for 1936. Now there's going to be other dates here. Obviously, I just want to walk you through this. Now I have not done what I should have done ahead of time. I should have pre-separated these, put all of these in order of by year. And that way, as I'm going through, I would be able to look at specific items. I probably should be doing that before I begin. But again, not really a big deal. However, if you're going to be changing back and forth between a lot of years, it will save you time. And you're more likely to identify or find something that's of value if you're looking at something that's the same, like your mind's going to see the same thing over and over again. So it's important to be able to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring this down just a little bit more. And let's go ahead and get started looking at these. I'll show you the date. We'll pull up the DDO, DDR. Again, double die obverse is DDO. DDR is double die reverse. And then if you see RPM, it stands for repunch mint mark, not go really fast. Well, RPM does mean revolutions per minute, but not in the case of coins. RPM stands for repunched mint mark. If you also see on various sites, you might see MM, that stands for mint mark. So you see Wexler might have a WMM which is Wechsler's mint mark variety. So there's a lot of them. Pain in the ass says 1927. Yes, 1927 has a few of them. Again, we'll be looking through. There are some other varieties that we want to look at within the feathers. There's the 2 and 3 feathers. This particular 1936 does not have any. So let's go ahead and start going through here. Again, 1936. I expect a majority of these to be in the 30s. There may be some other ones that come up. We will just have to wait and see. But we will be bouncing back and forth looking. There is no thickness in the L. There's none of that in the B, so we're not seeing any of that. I don't see anything in those feathers. And then we'll come over here to United. Again, United's looking fairly decent. It is a Philadelphia, so we know we're looking at the right one. All right. And again, it's important to look at each one of these. I probably should be looking at the mint mark first. Okay, that's a Philadelphia. This is 36 as well. So we'll come back over here to Liberty. And nothing there. Nothing in the feathers. And we'll flip this over. There is a little bit of machine doubling there on the U, but that is machine doubling. That is not a double die. The inside of that N. I'm going to have to set this one aside. There's a little bit of thickness in that N, but I think it's probably just took a hit. What I'm looking for in this particular one, I'll grab a pen so I can show you. I need to look at this a little bit closer, is that kind of notching there in the N and right there on the U. I don't think this is one. I'm going to set this aside. There's a little bit of extra thickness in the T, but I think that's just a strike, late die state, so I don't think there's anything on that one. But I'll set it aside and double check a little bit later. Again, 1936, Liberty. I better be checking the mint mark first. That's a San Francisco. Okay. So this one's going to be a little bit different. So we're going to jump back over here and we're going to kick back into 1936 and we're going to come over here to San Francisco, and you don't see that on the screen. Let me do this. All right, so in this case, 1936, San Francisco doesn't actually exist. So there isn't a double die reverse. Let's go check out double die obverse. Come back down here to 36. There is a 36S again in Liberty. You see the thickness, the little addition down here in the bottom of the L. It's a little bit off the screen. Let's move that right there. There you go. Now you can see that. I know it's a little bit small in that window, but what you're looking at is right here. We can make this a little bit bigger. Let's go ahead and zoom in. So there's a couple different things that you're going to be looking here. Now, not all of the coins that you're going to be looking at when you look at Variety Vista list all of the particular items, but it is good to have this up. So as I look at this particular coin, it's going to help me understand whether I'm finding anything. Again, when you look at this, the thing that you're looking at is this little area down here. Now, it's very hard to see, but you can see how there's this little thing, and then you can see the indentation here. That area right there, that's the doubling. You can see the extra thickness up here in the B, and you can see it down here in the I. See that little notching there, and the little notching on the B, notching on the R, the extra thickness up there on the T, and that's all that we see. So let's go ahead and switch back over to the other camera, and we're going to come back up here, and we're going to look at this, and do we see any of that? There is no notching in the T. All those letters are pretty uniform. That lower portion of the L is not distended, so we don't see anything there. We are going to flip this across, look at that S. We're going to look for any repunch mint marks. Now again, for the repunch mint mark, we're going to want to make sure we come back over here. We're going to want to make sure that we get back to the RPM. So you'll come back here, repunch mint mark listings, scroll back down here to 36S, and we'll be looking for the different items. Now there's a little bit of something down at the bottom of this one. It almost looks like this, but there's some die markers that we'll need to look at. So you see that there. You can see this right here, but I'm not sure that we're going to see anything else. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more, get down here and see if we can't see anything else on this S mint mark. I hope everybody's having a good morning. Thanks for being in here. If this is your first time here, please do me a favor. Say something in chat. Say hi, how you doing? Good to see you. Smash that like. If you like what you see after a little while, do me a favor, subscribe. I'm really close. I'm like 250 subs away from 4 grand. So any kind of help in that regard would be awesome. I would definitely appreciate it. But again, at least smash that like, say hi. Yoxnav, is it only for 36S or all 36? You have to be more specific. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Is what only for 36S? The repunch mint mark, this particular one can only be for 36S because it's the S mint mark. However, the double dies, it depends. You can have it on a 36 and a 36S. You just have to look at that particular item. Again, when we look at these items, you're looking at the lighting. It's important when you look at these things to rotate the coin. Lighting will play tricks on your eyes. It will really jack you up. So if you're not looking at the coin, you're not rotating it, changing the way it views in the light, you might start seeing something here that doesn't actually exist. In fact, if you look at the left side of every one of those letters, it looks like there's a little bit of doubling. But as soon as you start to rotate that coin and move that coin away, you can see all that doubling that appeared to be there is gone. It's no longer there. It doesn't show up. Ed the Lorax, what's going on? Thanks, bud. I appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much. Make sure you smash that like for me. That would be awesome. I do appreciate it. But again, just rotate that coin a little bit. You'll make sure that the light doesn't play tricks on you. Oh, the three-legged buffalo. Yeah, so the three-legged buffalo, that's a Denver, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to double check. I'm not great with my buffaloes. I haven't done a whole lot with buffaloes. I don't even have a buffalo book yet. This is why I got this particular roll. But I think it's 36 Denver. I'll have to double check that in just a second. Here, matter of fact, let's do this. Let's just check it. I think it's the 36D or 37D. 37D is the three-legged buffalo. And I can promise you one thing, if we find this in the stream, I'll probably have to take a break and go use the bathroom. All right, so 1936, again, this one's definitely got some toning on it. Seen better days. This is the Denver. All right, so we have to go back and we have to look at the sheet. Again, we were looking at San Francisco's earlier. So we got to get back out. We got to jump over to the Denver. And again, folks, when I said this earlier, it's really important to be looking at putting things together, right? You want to make sure, Ed the Lorax, I would be interested in a video about the 3.5 leg buffaloes. 3 leg and 3.5 leg. There are both. There is a distinction there. So I'm glad Ed the Lorax talked about that. I can tell you a little bit about how that happened if you'd like me to. Basically what happened is as they try to clean up the die, as they try to go through and actually do some stuff, let me get away from this screen and show the legs down here in the buffalo. I'm going to kind of pull this out. I'm going to raise this back up just a little bit. Let's get this focused and I'll show you. So what happens is in this particular case, they will go through and they will be polishing the fields of the die. So they'll be polishing in these areas. Sometimes you have things that happen like a strike through, and they may have struck, maybe this planchet didn't hit, and the two ends of the dies smashed together. So there may be something on the die. There could be some wear. There could be a little die crack or a die chip or something in there, and they want to clean this area up. Well, in order to do that, they do what's called polishing or abrading away. And abrading is basically just a fancy word for polishing. And what they do is as they cut this area through here, they're going to go through and they're going to clean this all up. And they just over polish this area. And so what happens is like the 3.5 legged buffalo, this area right here, so you'd still see a little bit of the leg, but this area right here would be polished away. And that's actually how you end up with that 37D. If the buffalo isn't ping, it isn't real. That's funny. There probably is a die crack there. There are definitely some die markers. Um, but again, doing a video on that, absolutely something that I can do. Do me a favor, if you'll do exclamation point email. Exclamation point email will pull up my email. You can send me an email with that request. I take requests from the people who watch my streams seriously. So if you ask for a video, as long as it's appropriate and it's not something wonky, I will definitely do my best to try to make one. So Ed the Lorax, if you'll do me a favor and send me that email, then I will definitely work on doing that. All right, so let's get back into looking at some of these coins. We've got the 5 cents here. We're looking at the Denver. I don't see anything, nothing really stands out. There's no doubling in this. Again, this one's really toned. Thanks, David. I appreciate you doing that, bud. I've got another chat open. Hey, Amy, heavy metal detecting. What's going on? Thank you so much. I was not able to resist. Oh, good. I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much for being here. You're not showing up in the other one. That's really weird. You should be showing up in both. Unfortunately, you're not. So I'm going to have to open up a secondary chat and set that there. Okay, now I can see the people who are streaming landscape mode. All right, so something weird has happened with my chat, but again, we'll resolve that. This one's really toned. I'm going to just kind of set that aside. There wasn't anything on that that really stood out. Let's go ahead and pull this up. Again, I got another 36. Look at those feathers. Don't see anything on the feathers. Look at the Liberty. Rotate this a little bit, see if you can find anything there. I'm not seeing any thickness. Primarily, again, what we're looking at, for those of you doing, we're looking at the thickness down here on the bottom of the L. And here, this is die wear. This is just general wear. Some of this happens just because of extensive use of the dies. Some of this happens just because it's an old coin. You can see this thing has definitely seen better days. And then again, we look down here at the 5 cents. I don't see anything on the 5 cents. We're good to go. Hopefully we find something pretty cool. I would love to be able to find some sort of variety live for you guys. Oh, okay, here we go. 1927. Now, the 1927 was actually brought up just a little bit ago. And a pain in the ass is actually the one, or we'll just call him PETA, is the one that actually pulled that up. So let's go ahead and pull Wexler's back up. And we're going to come over here and we're going to look at DDOs. Let this page cycle a little bit. We're going to come down here. Let's double check the mint mark on this. It is an S. You want to make sure that you're choosing the right one. So we're going to come over here at 1927S. So there is definitely a DDO in the 1927S. And again, for those of you who are not tracking the site, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the site in chat. This is for that Buffalo. This is the Wexler site. You can go here and you can follow along if you want to check that out. Why is my... There you go. It wasn't posting. All right, you can follow along if you want to. Look at some of these things. All right, so here in this one, there's a DDO1. You're going to be looking at this. I'll zoom in just a little bit so you can see that particular item. You're going to see doubling there in the tail feathers down here at the bottom. It's kind of hard to see. And then definitely underneath the 9, inside the 2 of the 7 down here at the bottom. So you'll see the doubling here. So let's go ahead and go back to this one. Let's flip this back over to the obverse. And do we see any of the thickness? Do we see anything there? I do not see anything out of the ordinary. So in this case, that 1927 looks pretty clean. It does look a little fat. And again, a lot of that is just wear, right? Again, wear and tear of the die. As things run across that, they're going to push these items down into the coin. So you're going to see a flattening. You're also going to see this as the dies get older. And so I don't really see anything there. It's quite a bummer. I was hoping to find something cool. And then we'll come over here. We'll look at that S mint mark. Again, when we're looking at RPMs, I'm going to pull this down just a little bit so we can see that S mint mark just a little bit better. You want to be able to see at least a good quarter, half of your coin when you're doing these. If you're zoomed in so much that the only thing you're seeing is the S, you're looking at it way too close. It's going to be really hard to do that. And again, rotate that periodically and look. I do not see anything in that S. I don't see anything in the 5 cents. And there is nothing on that leg of the buffalo. All right, let's go back over here. We got another 1927. Again, there's no extra thickness here. Now this particular coin is pretty beat up. It would be a little bit harder to tell. However, you would see the thickness at the bottom of the two. So that's kind of what you would be looking for. This is looking normal. I don't see any additional thickness in the 7. So we're good there. I don't see any doubling in that feather. There's nothing right here. That there would be some extra thickness and some doubling that happened down there in the bottom of the Indian feather. Nothing there. Okay, so this is, all right, so see how right here there is a little bit of thickness, right? Or so it looks. When I rotate this and I come back over here to the eye, you will see that that goes away. Okay, that's a good example of light playing a trick on you. Okay, so be really careful when you're looking at these things not to get locked into the mindset that, oh my God, there's doubling here. Rotate the coin. Rotate the coin 2 or 3 times. If you see it here and then you see it here and you see it here, then guess what? It's there, right? So you want to make sure that you're doing that. The F down here looks a little bit big, but it's actually just probably been smashed. You can actually see that that kind of has taken a hit. So you're a little bit, oh, hide and seek, just like buffaloes. Yep. So you want to make sure you're rotating these. Again, you see that there. In this particular light, the way that the light shows up, it looks like there's doubling on that eye, but there's not. Okay, it's going to be really important to rotate those things in order to make sure. Now, everybody should have one of these. Now, you won't be able to see this. Let me see if I can share my other camera. All right, so everybody should have one of these. This is a loop. Okay, this is really what you should be looking at errors or varieties with. And then validate and verify utilizing your microscope, right? You don't necessarily want to use your microscope to do all your identification. This is the best tool for that. Find yourself a really good one. One thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that you get a triplet loop. A triplet loop has a little bit better lens. And then you're going to want to have some sort of light source that helps you identify. But again, you're going to want to utilize one of those. Now, there's really good ones. There are some that have lights on them already that help you identify the light source. There are some that come in little cases, some that come in little holders. But again, make sure you have a loop. I'm going to go ahead and jump back over here to the coin. You guys don't want to see this, do you? No, I didn't think so. All right, so let's get back over here to that, and let's start looking at these coins again. Hey, Ed the Lorax, I just got your email. Thank you so much. I will make sure to work on that video and get something out. It will be probably a week and a half before I get that out. So please be a little bit patient with me, but I will put something out. I might try to get a short out today, do something small for you, but I'll definitely do that. Ed the Lorax says, I love my LED loop. Yes, they're awesome. I don't have an LED loop, but I do have a light that sits next to my my work area, and so I always have that light on. All right, enough chit chat. Let's go ahead and get back to looking at the coins. Again, folks, if this is your first time here, we've only got about 15 people in here. Please do me a favor, smack that like button. If you're brand new to the channel, you're liking what you're seeing, do me a favor. Subscription is free to you, but it definitely helps out my channel. I've been growing pretty decent, but I'm really close to hitting 4,000 subs. I would really like to see that soon. So if you guys would help me out on that. Ooh, 1923. All right, so this is something new. We haven't had a 23 before. So again, let's get back to this. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. 1923. Always got to check the reverse. Philadelphia. 1923 Philadelphia. Now, right now, again, you always want to make sure you know what you're looking at. So this is a 23 DDO that I'm looking for. There is one, you'll see that really heavy thickness there, but there's some other things to look for. What we're looking for basically is look at this chunky portion of the 2, that 2 with the diagonal recession there, and then the little bit of thickness here. This is kind of what I would be looking for in this particular one. So we're going to come over here and we're going to look at this. And do we have that thickness? No, it is not there. I was hoping we would have something. It looked pretty decent off the get-go. This coin definitely has seen better days. There are other markers, but I want to warn you guys against something. Okay, we talk about this all the time. You can look at these sites and find the markers, but don't go look for the markers on the coin unless you see the item that you're looking for. So if we're looking for a double die, in this case, the 1923 Philadelphia, don't be going to look for the items here on B. Don't be looking for the items on the I, because if you don't see this, it's not the coin. You got to find the error first. You got to find the variety first, right? So when you're looking at this particular variety, make sure you have this. Now, when we come back over to this, that 23 does have that kind of angle to it, right? It does have that look. So let's just pretend that that's there. Let's go look and see if there's something there. So what are we going to be looking at? So let's look at Liberty. All right, so we're going to come over here. We're going to look at Liberty, and let's look at we're going to have to zoom in just a little bit. Let's look at these die scratches. Are the die scratches going to be there in this particular one? You'll see the die scratches that run along the sides of this. You can see where this die has been abraded. Now, when we talk about abrading, we talk about a circular device, like not quite like a Dremel, but kind of like a wire wheel. It's obviously a little bit more sophisticated than that. But you can see these little lines that are in here, right? In this kind of area up here. And I know this is, I'm going to get down, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger for y'all to see. But you can see these lines right here. And you're going to want to make sure they're there. So when I come over here, we're not seeing any of that. In fact, when we look at this particular coin, we'll shed the light on it just a little bit more. We'll shift this around. It's actually, you don't actually see those lines at all. So you don't see any of that. So this definitely cannot be the same thing. Again, when you're looking at these particular varieties, you're going to want to make sure that all of the elements are there. It can't be close, folks. Okay, it's got to be exact. And so this definitely isn't there. So even if that 27 down here or that 23, even if that 2 look like it could be, but it doesn't meet that criteria, it's not going to be the same coin. Okay, now in this case, we know that 23 is not quite a doubled die. We just utilize this as an example. But if it was, could we have been finding a new variety? Maybe. In that case, set the coin aside, get with somebody who knows a little bit better. JJ Schmidt just subscribed. Outstanding. Thank you, JJ. I definitely appreciate that subscription. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, we got a really beat up die. 1935. This one's pretty hammered. Not seeing anything in that. Matter of fact, you know what? That's a Denver. Let's just go check out the 35 repunch mint mark. What are you doing up? Hey, Johnny T, what's going on, buddy? It's only 4 o'clock here. And I'm awake because my sons don't know how to be quiet. I was sleeping and they just decided to make dinner at 2 o'clock in the morning. So that's why I'm awake. All right, you guys don't want to see my ugly mug. Let's get back to here. All right, so let's pull up this. Let's get back here. I'm going to zoom back out so that we can see this. And again, we are looking at, what year are we looking at? Holy smokes, I already lost my mind. 35. 35 Denver. And again, this is why you don't want it. So there is no repunch mint mark or DDO on 35. Let's go check and see if there's an RPM on 35. There is an RPM on 35. So again, when you're looking at these, ooh, that's pretty. That would be really nice. RPM number 2. Oh yeah. Look at that. Look how clean that doubling is on that particular one. Good looking stuff. Okay. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's see if we're seeing anything here. So again, I'm going to pull that off to the side. You won't be able to see much of this, but let's go ahead and I'll move this over here so you can see that Denver mint mark. All right, so do we see anything there that would kind of lead us to believe that there's any doubling? I don't see anything here. So that removes number 8. There is nothing here. I don't see anything up top. I'm not seeing anything. Let me circulate. No. I was hoping that there was something here, but that is just that. There's a little bit of a flick right here at the top. Unfortunately, I don't think that that is anything to do with the D. I can't really tell if that's there. Looking at these particular mark varieties, I don't see anything that represents that. So I'm going to say the answer is no and say that this is in fact not an RPM. So we do have a 35. That one's kind of beat up. That's the first 35 that we've seen. And again, I need to zoom out. We're way too close in this particular fashion. We want to be, oops. We want to be out here when we're looking for varieties. We don't want to be that close. It's too hard to see it again. And if you can't see a majority of the coin, you're not going to be seeing the things you need to. If you're too zoomed in, you just won't see anything. Check out that United. Not seeing anything doubling there. Let's go check out the Liberty. There's definitely no thickness in that L. Again, we would be looking right here in the bottom of the L. Let's put that out. Right here in the bottom of the L would be some extra thickness, and then there'd be some distension and stuff up top. It is not there. All right. Thanks for coming in, everybody. I appreciate you being in here. Again, if this is your first time here, please do me a favor. Smash that like. Subscriptions are free, right? They don't cost you anything, but I'm really, really close to getting to 4,000 subscribers. I would love to get there soon. So again, any subscription you could give would be awesome. You can't get what you don't ask for, right? And I'm not seeing anything there. But we do have a couple coins. Oh, I told you we're going to have, I think we've had like 7 36s already. We got a whole bunch of things left to go through. 1927. Okay, this one's going to be a little bit difficult. This is one of the things where if you begin to see anything that even resembles it, you might want to go back and look. So this is a 27. Will's Treasures. What's up, bud? Are you pouring? What are you doing today? If you're pouring, pour me something good. Hey, speaking of, if you guys haven't seen Will's Treasures, he does a lot of cool stuff. He does a lot of pouring, does a lot of copper work. If you guys like copper, you have to go check out Will's Treasures. But Will, I sent you for that ship coin. Please give me a thumbs up in chat. Let me know that you got that. And do me a favor, hit the exclamation point, find me. Let people see your channel. And go check out Will's. He's got some fun stuff. He's on the Premier train. He will be pouring soon. Cool. Very cool. But give me a thumbs up. Let me know you received the payment for that ship coin, dude. I would appreciate that. All right, let's get back over here and look and see what we got. We were looking at a 27. And again, we're looking at a DDO. Got to click on the right one. All right, 27. We've been here before. Now, again, folks, I've said this before. I'm going to say it probably 100 times beforehand and again after. When you're doing coin searches, when you're rolling stuff like this, all right, thanks, dude. You don't have to ship today. You can hold it a little bit. I don't definitely need that. There may be other stuff that you have that might come of interest. If you have something that might be of interest to me, just hold on to that package. You don't have to send it out yet, and we'll talk a little bit more offline. Okay? But I appreciate you, brother. But when you're doing this, one thing that I really want you to do, okay, is set yourself up for success. I'm going to take this off and I'm going to put me back up here. Set yourself up for success. So when you guys are looking at coins and you're doing stuff, don't do what I just did. I should probably stop right here and sort these coins and put them in by date and mint mark. Because what happens is you see I'm bouncing all over the place. The problem is in my mind, the eye actually detracts. I'm no longer being able to recognize and see patterns. So if I am looking at this coin and then I'm switching back and forth between mint marks and varieties and years and dates, what's going to end up happening is that my mind is not going to be able to start seeing that pattern recognition. We as humans are the best pattern recognition software that ever existed. However, if we keep changing stuff up and going back and forth and looking back and forth between different coins, we are never going to be able to actually see those things that we would need to see because we keep changing, right? So set yourself up for success. Don't do what I do here. Matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a couple minutes. Bear with me. I'll tell you a couple of stupid dad jokes or something, but I've got to set myself up. Again, this was not planned. I need to kind of coordinate through here really fast. So give me a couple seconds. We'll just kind of chit chat. While we're doing this, and while I'm setting up the dates, I'm not going to do it all by mint mark, but I'm just going to be throwing them through here really quick. So again, 27, let's see. And I'm going to do this really fast. You guys can set this up. I'm going to just kind of put these in order. Again, 36. Just to be able to do that, 29. Oops, let me set these up here because I'm not going to be able to do it that way if I do it. Okay, we are at 17. Ooh, 17. That's a good one. That's an early year. All right, so in chat, really quick, who can tell me what the first year of the Buffalo nickel was? Come on, quick trivia. I know you guys are all smart here. You're coming to see the Buffalo nickels. You guys definitely know what's going on. 36. Namaste. What's going on, bud? Exactly how I do it. So the coins then check. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I did not do that, and I'm kind of, I shouldn't be going through and showing people how to do something incorrectly. All right, so this is nothing. So we'll be talking about this particular item afterwards. There is a date, and it is 30 something, but I'm not sure what it is. So I'm going to set that one aside. You definitely want to set yourself up for success. Again, we got another flat, no date. Now, I don't have any Nicodate. Are you guys familiar with Nicodate? Nicodate is a tool that you can use, 34, to identify 25. What was that one? 27, 25. Nicodate is something that you can utilize to identify if you've had a punch. One thing about when you stamp a coin, and a lot of people are like, oh, how does Nicodate actually work? Nicodate is actually, it's an acid and it eats away at the coin. So it's really, if you have a valuable coin, it's not something you want to be using, okay? I wouldn't recommend Nicodate for just anything. However, if you have the right elements, so first thing first, this would not be one that I would necessarily use Nicodate on because right now when you're looking at this particular coin, it's a type 2. It has the straight line across, doesn't have the curve. We can talk about the mounds and the different setup here. But if I'm looking at this one, yeah, I could do the Nicodate, but I can tell you right now, it's not going to be one of those key dates that I'm looking for. You can still do things like look for mint marks and things like that to give you little clues. And it's really important to do that. And there are things that you can do. There are markers that you can look at that do not require you to use Nicodate. So Nicodate doesn't have to be your go-to option. And again, if you're looking at saving your value, I would not do that. However, if you're using a book and you're trying to find a way to put some stuff together, and again, I'm just sorting these. I'm not even sorting them by mint mark. I'm just sorting them by year right now. We'll be able to kind of go through these, and I'll be able to go through them a little bit more efficient for you. I should have done this ahead of time, but again, I wasn't planning on going live. I wanted to do it just because, you know, hey, we're here, and holy cow, got busy yapping, forgot what year I was looking at. Just wanted to make sure that we were putting some stuff together and just kind of doing some chit chat. Talk to you guys about what's going on, and I had this roll of nickels that were here, and I hadn't gone through them, and I thought that would be a great time to do this. Ladies and gentlemen, if it's your first time here, please do me a favor. If you like the content, please hit that like button. Subscribing is free. You don't have to do it, but if you don't mind, that would be awesome. That's a 26. That goes over here. one off. We're almost done sorting these. I've only got a few more. And then when we're done sorting these, we'll go through 1920. There's something cool in the 1920. We'll put that next to the 17. 1930. We've got a couple younger dates here. I'm going to show you guys something here in just a second. One thing that I enjoy. How many people in chat? Oh, we've got 12 people in chat. Is that all we got in chat? Holy smokes, folks. Come on. Be sharing this stuff out. Eric, hey, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Couldn't sleep. The boys were, hey, Gambit, what's going on? Good to see you. 1913, outstanding, Gambit. Thank you. Boys decided that they were going to make dinner at 2 o'clock in the morning. So once I woke up, I wasn't able to go back to sleep. Figured I would do this. Right now, I'm just sorting the coins. We're looking through some stuff. Eric, if you want to, if you're not doing anything and you want to come visit, it's the same link we always use. You're more than welcome to come on up and do some chit chat. We can look at these items and talk. You're more than welcome to come on up. All right, so we are set up. So let's go ahead and hit these from the lowest. This is the 1917. Now there is something a little curious on the inside of this one. It looks like a scratch. It is a scratch on that coin. Definitely a scratch. So you can see that goes all the way down to the rim right there. Definitely a scratch, so I don't see anything there. We're going to pull this up. Just again, we're going to be following protocol. Now again, folks, you want to have your resources available to you, okay? Make sure that you have this stuff available. Make sure that you're doing this, this appropriately. We are looking at DDOs in this case. Again, you can't be looking at RPMs if you're seeing Philadelphia. So you know that if you're on one that doesn't have any Philadelphias, you know you're looking at RPMs. Just something to look at. In this particular case, we're looking at doubling within the nose and the eye. So you'll see that extra eyelid down here. You'll see that there, and then you'll see the doubling inside the nose. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit, and I'll show you those two items. Again, that's right here and right here. The doubling is not in the date. So in this particular case, if I was going to be looking solely at the date, I would miss the element that I need to be looking for. So again, it's important that you have these things available to you and you're utilizing your resources. Now, the Indian is pretty hammered, so the likelihood that we're going to be able to see that is slim and none. But again, rotate that, shift that light a little bit, look and see. There is nothing in the nostril and there is nothing on the eye of that. So there is nothing on that particular one. So let's go back over here. Let's go ahead and shift this back to DDR. Let's check and see if there's anything in 17 on the reverse. There is, and what we're looking at here is pretty substantial. Look at that pluribus. Oh man. What do we got going on here? Woohoo. Isn't that pretty? Look at the doubling all through there, down under the buffalo, down into the beard. Look at the 5 cents. All right, so we have some good things to look for here. All right, well, we can't really see much on the buffalo. It's pretty much hammered dog. Do we see anything there? I'm not really seeing anything there. Hey, Amy, namaste. I have a bunch of tests, specialty clinic appointments. Keep us informed, Amy. Let us know that you're doing all right, my friend. Okay? Big prayers go out to you. Well wishes, positive vibes, whatever your centering point is. Be well, be blessed, and I hope you're doing okay, my friend. Again, hey, Johnny T, thanks, bud, for coming in. Get some good sleep. I appreciate you stopping in. Do me a favor, make sure you smash that like on the way out. Have a good night, buddy. All right, let's see. Nope, not seeing anything there. Again, no doubling in the beard. I'm not seeing anything there. Okay, we'll move off to the side. And that was the 17th. We'll stick that over here. All right, moving up the chain, this should be the 1920. All right, let's go back to our tool. Let's see what we got. Okay, we're going to pop into DDOs. We're going to map that 1920. There is nothing on the DDOs. We'll smash that DDR. There's nothing on the DDRs. And since this is a Philadelphia, we don't have to sweat that. So we know we can put that coin aside because there is nothing on that particular coin. Again, this is why you want to have your resources available to you. You want to have them up. You want to be looking. This is the 1925. Again, we're going to be hitting this. There's nothing on the 25. You know what? I need to check something. Yeah. Okay. Looked at that again. Just to make sure. Already forgot if there was a mint mark or not. We're going to be clicking on the DDR listings. Come down here to 25. There is nothing in the 25. There is no Philadelphia, so we're going to put that coin off to this side. This particular one is 1930. Let's see what we got in the DDOs. 1930, there is a DDO, and we're going to be looking at Liberty in the I, and we're going to be looking at that date. Man, there's a lot of doubling here in the I. Eric, are you still here? As we show this one in the I, Eric knows that the I is hard for me to see. So if Eric is still here, I'm going to have him pay attention to that. Hey, Rockzilla, what's going on? Thanks for popping into chat. Good to see you. Thank you for being in here. Definitely appreciate you coming in, stopping by. Please do me a favor. Make sure you're smashing that like. I do appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much. All right. Not seeing anything in that Liberty. Again, it's pretty hammered up in that corner. Not seeing much there. The date is pretty clean. Not seeing anything in that date. All right. So you got the better eyes. I don't see anything in that eye, but I think you're going to have to kind of tell me if you see anything there. I think that's just a strike. I don't think that's... I think that's just a strike, right? There's nothing there. The eyes, for some reason, I don't know what it is about looking at coins and varieties. I have such a hard time seeing things in the eye. Yeah, I didn't think so. But again, when you're doing this kind of stuff, it's really important. I'm glad he doesn't have anything in his nose. I would hate to have a bogey. All right, 1927 again. No thickness. We don't see anything in that too. The Warren die makes it really hard to see the bottom portion of that. Not really seeing much. Again, when you look here, rotate that doubling that looked like it was at the top kind of faded away. Bank. Ah, thank you, Bank. I don't know what that means, but, you know, thanks for popping in the stream. All right, let's see here. Are there resources that you use besides Variety Vista? So, yes. So if I was to be doing like a really in-depth search, I'd probably have Wexler. So let me pull up a couple of these other ones. I'll be pulling up Wexler's. Okay, so you're going to want to be pulling up Wexler's. I would be looking at the RPDs, RPMs, be looking things like that. Oops, I got to be into the right ones. So let's go to the double die listings. Come down here to Buffalo's, and then we'd be looking at that particular year. So I'm not expecting to see anything in this particular roll. I don't want to turn this into a crazy science experiment, but yes, I would be looking at this. Now, if I found something, I would compare it to another one. So for instance, if we come to the 27 and we look at this, you see the doubling there in the nose. The image that I seen in the other one is better than this one. So I don't know that I would utilize this particular image. It's hard to see. So the images on here, they're just not that great. So I don't utilize this a lot. Now there are times that I will use Wechslers, especially when we're looking at stuff. Now if I was looking at pennies, like if pennies were the things that I would be looking at, I would be coming over here, and you guys should know me if you follow my channel at all, and it's already set up, it's already there. So if I was looking at this, I'd be looking at copper coins. I would be pulling this up. This is where I'd be pulling this information from. I actually have a really nice roll of 1962 Philadelphias sitting here that we can go through. We can open if you want to. We can go through that again if you want to do some streams or you want to look at some cents later. I would primarily be looking at this here for that. And then I probably would be looking at Kaneka if I was going to be looking at it. So there would be a number of different sites that I would have open and available. But in this particular case, I'm only looking at the one just because it's easy to sort back and forth. And we're only looking for a couple things. Again, if I found something, I definitely would be verifying it across multiple sites. So great question, Namaste. I appreciate that. Again, I don't see anything here. We come up here to the Liberty. I don't see any distension. Again, what you're seeing here is just basically die wear. Look at the United on the back. You do see the S. I don't see anything on the S. It's a little chunky. But again, significant die wear makes it hard to see things sometimes. There are some people who can see stuff really, really well when you're looking at these kind of things. I am not one of them, so I will just have to defer to expertise later on. But again, we're not really finding anything. 1930, again, if I wanted to fly through these, pop over here, hit the 30. Oh, did I? Hold on. Yeah, Philadelphia. I didn't know if I had looked at that before. So again, popping through, looking at, just bouncing back and forth. Hey, Kevin, how are you doing? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you coming in and spending time with us this morning. We're just kind of looking at some Buffalo nickels. So in this case, we're going to be looking at the 1930. You'll see again, we see that doubling. Now this particular image is good, right? You see really good doubling. Let me pop this out of here and move this over so that you can see this a little bit better the way I have my screen. So you'll see in this particular image, you will see the doubling here in the eye, and you'll see the doubling here in the nose. So as we come over here and we click back on this one, we go to that Indian, we're going to be looking at the eye and the nose. Now it's very hard because this one definitely took a strike, but if you look at the nose, you definitely don't see anything there. So this isn't anything. Again, this coin is pretty much hammered from Hong Kong. So we're going to put that aside. All right, let's see what else we got. 19, that's a 26. Let's check our 26. This is going to be in the date. Again, you're seeing thickness there. A little bit of thickness up here in the T. So we'll go ahead and pop back over here. Let's look at the T. If we can even see the T in Liberty. Oh, wait, wrong side. Yeah, nothing there. Nothing there. That's a bummer. All right. Well, we're about halfway through this roll. I appreciate y'all coming in and smashing that like. So we are looking at 1929. Let's go ahead and pop into that next one. Go back down here. Now, in this particular case, again, you're going to be looking for that mint mark. This is a Philadelphia, so that 1929 is there. It's the only one. Obviously, you can see some clear doubling in this one. So if we scroll down here to the 1929, you're not seeing any of that doubling. It's just not there. Again, rotate that coin to make sure any doubling you might have saw disappears, but there's definitely no doubling in that 1929. Flip that over. You can see that that is a Philadelphia. There is no mint mark there. Let's go ahead and check that. There was no thing on the reverse. check out the pluribus unum. Do we see anything on the e pluribus unum here? Nope. Nothing on e pluribus unum. Nothing in the 5 cents. And again, folks, rotate your coins. Look at it a different variety of ways just to make sure that you're getting away from that potential light. And there's nothing on that one. All right, let's go back through here. Again, another 1927. Obviously, there's no doubling on this one. You don't see that doubling. There's no thickness on the bottom of the 2 or the 9. So there's nothing in this one. We're going to have to check that Liberty. Nothing on Liberty. Come over here to 5 cents. There's nothing on 5 cents. And we see nothing in e pluribus and nothing in United. We've looked at the 27 a number of times through here today. So let's go back. Hey! This one we're going to have to check. What's going on, buddy?
Good morning.
How are you?
5 cents, there's nothing on. Doing great. And you?
Good. I hear your YouTube in the background.
Yeah, I got to turn it. I was on my phone earlier.
No worries. You're up early.
I'm up at my normal time. You're up early.
Oh, yeah. Thanks to my kids.
Yeah, I'm up early thanks to my dogs every day.
Oh, I was like, what the bang, 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 bang. It's like, what in the world are you guys doing? We were hungry. It's like, hi, Chihuahua, you goofballs.
Growing boys.
Oh, yeah. Nothing in the 30. So how you been?
Not terrible. Working too hard for my age.
How's that floor coming along?
I think it's going to be done today. I got help coming because I can't get on my knees anymore if they're shot. So that will help. As
That's
long
good.
as they show up.
And you're just doing your office, right? That's all you have left?
No, the office I'll do. I could have took my time and did it at my own pace. This is my wife's office.
Oh, this is the honeydew.
Yeah, and this is a big room. It's 25 by 15 plus a 5 by 10 closet. So
Man, they've got some horrible images. What am I supposed to look at here?
yeah, let's see. We'll go up.
No, I mean, it's just look at the quality of this. Like, what are you supposed to look at there? Where is that on the coin?
Well, that's what I say. Go up, and it should tell you where the doubling is.
Well, I know it's the leg, but what I'm just saying is, you look at that, it's like, well, what's normal?
Right.
And it's horrible. Oh, aggravating.
That's on the back of the neck of the buffalo.
All right, well, let's pop over here and see what we got. So, nothing in Liberty. Liberty's nice. Nothing on the feathers. Data's good. All right, so we're looking at the legs on the buffaloes. Yeah, so like, how are you supposed to tell from that picture what you're even looking at?
Right.
Right? Now there's nothing there. There's no doubling there. There's a scratch.
Now, back in the day when a lot of these pictures were taken, they were still using film cameras, so every shot cost a lot, substantial amount of money.
Yeah, that's true.
They didn't take a lot of shots. A lot of times, like Alan Herbert did drawings. He had like little rubber stamps of a coin's, the obverse and reverse of a coin, and he would fill in with a pen. Him or his assistant Ann would fill in with a pen where markers were and where the variety was.
And they would just draw it out.
Yeah, let's see if I can find that. I might have an example of his stuff here.
So let me ask you a question. I changed my lighting. How's the lighting on this?
It's much better.
Yeah,
Much better.
I still get some little bit of whatever, but it's way easier to see. It still doesn't show copper very well.
Copper's the hardest one. All right, they're not sitting here kicking me in the head, so I don't know where they're at. But he used to use like file cards, the little 3x5 file cards,
Yep.
and then he would type on the lines, you know, what marker number one, and he would break it down into kind of like a Dewey Decimal type thing. And then he'd have a picture of the coin like rubber stamped. So about a 3-inch map of the coin. Sometimes it was even smaller, I think. I think some of them were 1 inch. And I wish I knew where that bag was. I know it's probably within 2 feet of me, but there's so much crap in my office right now from her office that it's buried in that, I think.
I got you.
But it was interesting how he did it, because it was because he either didn't have the ability to photograph it, or it was just too expensive. I can remember people when the digital camera came out, they were still using. So in the late 90s, they were still using film cameras for it at the one point. And can remember somebody saying, you know, hey, it cost me after the lab and everything, $12
Oh man, I used to have my own.
take pictures of a couple coins.
I used to do my own film processing,
Yeah, my dad, I had a photo lab in the basement of the house. My
and
dad was a photographer. That's a nice double die, the one you just showed on the screen.
this one,
No, the picture that you showed
Yeah.
from, it looks like Wexler.
it is Wexler, but unfortunately, this is not one. And this is a Denver.
But I haven't had an opportunity to search coins. I got 3 rolls to still do for copper coins, and I had 2 scheduled for today, and I've got to get this done before I do anything. But I have a feeling I might be done by 11 o'clock. It depends, like I say, what time the help comes. I do think he went out to the bar last night, so it might be a late start. So I might be able to make your hobo nickel deal.
Oh man, wouldn't that be a nice one to get?
Yeah, I sent a message to that Getty, who is the guy that makes hobo nickels, and he never replied to me. So I'm thinking, I guess he's in Lithuania now. He's not in the Ukraine, but he is from the Ukraine. He lived here for, I think, 15 years. I met him and he worked. Ooh, look at that. That'd be beautiful to find that one.
I know, wouldn't it?
He lived in Fort Myers Beach, and I met him there. And then he got into this making the hobo nickels, and they have some retreat in like North Dakota or something like that. And he went and spent 2 years with who was considered the master at it at the time. I'm not sure what the fella's name is right now, but I know that his coins go for $150 to $500 a piece, and they're freshly made. And I looked on eBay, and there's one there right now, and a lot have sold. So a lot of his stuff sells. People look for his stuff.
I'll show you. Whoops.
There's a lot of hobo nickels up there for $5 that don't sell.
So I've got a few. I think I got about think I got about 10 of these. And I'll be going over these. I would really like to find one of these that had like a double die on it. The only thing about these ones, I can tell you they're not some of the early ones, because the early ones they tried to make sure that they, even if they had to recarve, they would recarve the date.
Yeah.
And a lot of the later ones don't do that. So you can definitely tell that this is one of the later ones. It's not bad. It's a decent one. I do like the hobo, but it's not. You have the BP, but it's not the same one. There's no
Yeah, I
carving
know
on the
that
back.
that when I met him, I sold him a bunch of Buffalo nickels. And when he left, he was a partner in a pawn shop too. I was talking to his partner and I said, well, what did he take? He took nothing except a bunch of Buffalo nickels. He says, well, that makes sense to me. So that guy's initials were BP that did that, eh?
Yeah. .36 Philly. So in this one, I know we just got the Liberty. Again, this is why it's important to sort your stuff, because you're going to be looking at things that you've seen before, right? So I know exactly what I'm looking for as far as this particular double die obverse and reverse. We're looking in the United and we're looking at Liberty, and I don't see it in either one of these.
Let's see if I got his name again.
No thickness there. So you found anything really cool lately?
I haven't looked at a coin in a week since the last reveal I did. I've been just working on that room, but it's all painted. All the drywall is fixed. All the new window things are hung up. I did everything. The only thing I got to do after this, and I think I can kind of do that at my convenience, is replace the outlets so they all are the same color.
Yep.
Because over the years they've been replaced, and some are brown, are beige, and some are white.
Hey folks, be smashing that like if you're here, if you just came in. If you like what you see, do me a favor, smash that subscribe button. I would appreciate it. It's free to you, but it helps out the channel a bunch. All right. So I figured out what was going on. I'll talk to you about that offline. Regarding the growth. You still there?
Yep, I'm here. I'm looking. Wow, he does some incredible stuff.
Who's that?
This guy that I know that actually creates.
It's too bad we couldn't get him up on the show. Well, I'll have to do another follow-up. Just see if you can't get a hold of him and find out. Because I'd like to. I have one person who does hobos, and I tried to get a hold of them, but they didn't respond. That was kind of a very short turnaround. And
yeah, him, like I say, I have a feeling that it might be because he is where he's at. Yeah, see, they sell a lot of his stuff, actually. And they all go, the cheapest stuff it sells by him is about $70.
So I have two of them that I bought that were fairly, they weren't expensive. They were in the 40s. I do have one that I really like. I don't know where it's at though. I couldn't find it. It's probably in a book, and I just don't know which book it's in. It says the back of the leg, but it doesn't say which leg. Back legs. Nope, not there. Nothing there. We've only got a few more. I think we're into the 36s, 37s. So there shouldn't be too many. I know that these ones we're just going to be looking at Liberty and United. It's basically where we're going to find these particular ones. We're going to be wrapping this up. I'm going to go ahead and shift over. Do you want to go through some cents?
Sure.
Now, I don't know what the light's going to do, so hopefully the light cooperates. I've been trying to get it, but it's probably going to turn the coin funky. We'll look and see. I would like to find something. I really haven't found a variety for a long time, and I haven't been doing a lot of searching, but I haven't found anything lately.
Yeah, I can't wait to actually be able to search some stuff. The only thing I found lately is I got a bunch of wheat rolls, and there was like 10 52Ds in a roll, and it had a 52D over S. They were all RPM. Somebody had pulled them out of a roll.
All right, Peter, have a good night, bud. We'll see you later.
A lot of these rolls have had been full of varieties that I got from the person. So it's kind of cool. I mean, there's codes on it, but I don't know. They're not a code that's like breakable. It's something that he coded himself. I think that this is what's in this roll, and then he, made a map.
What do you mean? I'm not tracking.
Well, I did a 57D roll that it had RPM 5 DDO2 for a 57D roll.
I got you.
And it had like XEEEE. And then I noticed the other rolls are XEE, XEE. And I opened one of them because the top was broke off of it, and it had a different double die in it. So I'm assuming I think next week I'm going to be doing a 57D roll, and it's XEE. So hopefully it follows suit.
Yeah, because that would be nice.
Yeah. Well, I like to find stuff for everybody. It just doesn't happen sometimes. We're fortunate that we do find stuff. There's a lot of people. I can remember going 100 rolls without finding anything. And that gets pretty discouraging.
I don't search that much. Well, I haven't searched at all in the month of April because of work and all the hours.
And that's me. I've done a couple reveals for copper coins. And I've looked at some stuff that's been on my desk, and then like those 10 52Ds. And that's it. It's basically my knees are so sore, my back is so sore. I'm like, oh my God. Those are the ones that you got to look at. If you got mint marked, you got to start keeping an eye on that for the over mint marks.
Say that again.
On the 36, 37, 38, I think there's over mint marks, OMMs in each of those years.
Yeah, that's not one of them. And you're like 15 seconds behind me. I got some lag on my end.
Oh, I'm not watching, and I should be looking at StreamYards and not. I'm looking at.
Oh yeah, you're definitely going to be lagging that way. Because there's like a 9 or 10 second delay.
Yeah, and that's on purpose, actually.
Yep, they do it because they can pull the stream down should you be showing anything overly inappropriate. You know where that stemmed from?
I do not.
Wardrobe malfunction, Super Bowl.
Oh yeah. Janet Jackson, wasn't that the wardrobe? Yeah.
That's what stemmed all of that stuff, was the removal of that because they were streaming live. Like there was a 3-second delay, and they caught part of it, but by then it was already out. Pun totally intended. Well, it looks like this one's going to be a bust. I didn't find anything in this particular row.
Yeah. So by next week, I should be back to normal, being on the show all the time with you. And hopefully today. I mean, my heart wouldn't be broken if the guy didn't call in till 11:30 or whatever. The problem is I'm supposed to do a reveal at 1, and I'll have to cancel it if I got somebody over here helping me.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. I'm gonna go look at coins.
Well, I told him that. I says, I do got to work and this and then. He says, oh, that's okay. I'm like, okay, but I know that somebody's got to start caddying water back and forth, and I can't be getting called. So.
Yeah, again, another one of those light situations where there's a little bit of a mark on the D. Made it look like something.
Yeah, that's a lot of wear.
Yeah, it's nothing.
That's the problem with looking at buffaloes, is most of them are heavily worn. So unless you're finding something that's like a super big DDO, it's going to be near impossible to see it.
Yep. You got to look for those little those notches in the corners.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that's going to give it away on some of these worn ones.
That or just gross extra thickness.
Yeah, we didn't find any of that.
Yeah.
Well, buffaloes are done. I went through that entire row. I don't know why I set this one aside. I think it's just, yeah, it's nothing. All right, so those are done. All right, so you want to pull out this 62 Philly?
Sure.
All right, so these ones, they're nice coins.
Those
But
are the ones
let's
that
see.
you were trying to search before, right?
Oh man, the color turns out pretty good on this.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
All right, so what are we looking at here? So let's go ahead and pop up some
Looking
copper
at
coins.
doubling on the date, in the I, in trust and liberty, and then the big double dies would be on the reverse.
See, this
think
is where
there's
I have
a
the
pretty good
problem.
double die on in. Let me look. Let me get my cheat sheet up.
So I still have issues with my lighting in this one. Let's do. Did that help at all?
It's not terrible. Like it's going to be hard to see a doubled eyelid because you're not getting any light into the eyelid. It's there. That you would be able to see it right there. So it's not a doubled eyelid.
Definitely not a double in the date. And then what else are we looking for?
Right. Doubling around United States, and I don't see nothing.
Nope. Nothing there. All right, come on. We got to find something. That one's got some buggers on it. Yeah, the eye is really hard to see.
But it is better than the last time.
Yeah, I still need to adjust. Again, this is a work in progress, right? Try to find a healthy balance there. How's that? Is that better?
It's just about the same. I see you moving the light on both sides.
Trying to see which. It's not any better though, is it?
No, it's the same. It's very, once, as soon as you let go of the light, it goes pretty much back to the same.
Yeah,
But
it
it's
is what it
amazing
is.
at how good it shows up on silver coins and not on copper.
Yeah, but copper's tough. I've had a really hard time getting the color of my copper to finally show up. But the lighting is, it's a difficult thing to do copper correctly. Nothing there?
I don't see anything.
Now, hold on.
You going back to the coin you just showed? It's just not reflecting the same. I see what you're seeing, that that's thinner.
Yeah. It just looks thicker to me.
It does. It looks thicker, but I think it's a reflection. And that right there is the inherent problem with the endo type scope. I'd take it and look at it under a loop, see if you see a little notch coming up on the top of the lower bend of the two. My little icon actually is a 62D double die obverse number 1.
I need to adjust my lighting situation. So I don't have enough light for my. So what am I looking for?
Like a little, the bend of the two from the bottom
Yep.
left, it'll come up and be like little notches coming out the top.
Nope.
Like I said, look at my icon. My YouTube icon is actually a 62 double die.
Yeah, it's not. It's just the light. But yeah, you could see that other one. It was like, whoa.
And I think it's the die scratches that are making the coin show up better, because it's actually showing up better. The whole coin is showing up better.
Might be.
And I think it might be the die scratches that are helping that, giving it contrast.
There's some serious die scratches in this one. Nothing.
And when you do this, look at the FG always. If you see a fat FG, chances are there's something on the rest of the reverse. If I go around and I don't see anything, because sometimes they can be pretty minor. 9 times out of 10, you'll have a fat FG or doubling on the FG, and then you can look a real close.
It's so hard. I can't see the eyes in here.
I don't think there's a ton of double eye stuff. Let me look. That's what I was doing.
So here, actually, you know what I need to do that
Well,
I'm
there is a
not
few
doing?
double eyes.
Let me do this real quick. If I hit COP, copper coin should, oops, wait, I need to be up here. There we go. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to have that there. Let's move that over just a little bit more. And then we can scroll through and look at some of the things that we're looking at, so people can see that. I know it's going to take up a little bit more room away from the coin, but I'll just be looking at the coin on the left-hand side. I think that'll give people more of an idea of exactly what we're looking at.
Yeah. I'm going to go refill my coffee cup.
Yeah, no problem, bud. So again, when we're looking at some of the varieties, you'll see and the we, the W and the we, see the doubling down here in the O. So this is why it's really important to look at the same one, to have one going in, look at the same variety. It's easy to do rolls. It's harder to do the mixed roll like we were just doing with the buffalo, because there's so many potential items in there. It's hard to kind of see exactly what's happening, but nothing in that one. For the notching in that too, don't see it. You do see a lot of reflection in that 6. A lot of that is my lighting, so it can constantly rotating. You can see that no matter how I rotate that, here it goes away. We put it back over here, then it comes back. So that tells you that it's lighting. I need to get better lighting for this, but have not been able to dial in copper. It's for some reason, it's just a pain in the butt for me. Not seeing anything here in the United. So thank you everybody for coming in, saying hi. Appreciate you stopping in, stopping by, seeing what's going on. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change something real fast. I'm going to disconnect. Hold on just a second. It's going to kick you back to me for just a second. I've got shifted some stuff around, so give me just a second. Turn that off. Turn this back on. Let me see if I can't get this to present to where I can show this. Let me check the coloration. See, now the color is going to be all jacked up. Man, I hate it when it does this. It drives me insane.
Row.
Yeah, as soon as I go through and do that,
You have a white balance button?
nope. Nope. That's one of the issues that I have. The problem is that when I try to do this, man, this drives me nuts. I hate this stuff. So when I try to change my lighting, it just doesn't, it kills it. So I have to get it all set up and have it all done. And then, so in order for me to fix this, this is what I'm going to have to do. But the problem is now it'll show up, but you won't be able to see See, the eye goes away. So I got some more playing to do.
Yeah. Well, the people that were watching, they must stay up late.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people falling off when I was trying to mess with the camera, but that's okay. No worries.
Well, I see a lot saying they're going to bed. It's like, ooh, man, 10 o'clock. I'm like dying. There you go. That looks pretty good there.
What's that?
You're searching now. The color looks pretty good.
Color's not too bad right now. There's a lot of scratching in this particular one.
Yeah.
But I don't see anything. Later dye state. Mid dye state, I guess I should say. Oh, I got to do this. Forgot to have this back up. Looking at that notching inside the 6 and the 2.
Yeah. Hopefully, when my wife goes and visits her mother, I'll get little time to work on my project that I'm going to work on. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do it, but I'm thinking of, trying to make like a couple-minute video on each coin.
Yeah.
And kind of catalog it into playlists. That way, that's just another resource to look at. If you're trying to identify like RPM nickels or dimes or quarters or stuff like that.
It's a little bit too close in still, right? I'm trying to just make it to where you can see it.
No, that's actually perfect. You can see everything.
Okay. And actually, the color on this is better. I just don't see the eyes.
When you tilt the coin up there, you can see the eye when you tilt the coin up like that.
There.
Yeah.
I'm going to change the lighting position.
But the computer is.
It's trying to autocorrect the light.
It's trying to correct the light. That's right.
And that's my problem. And I haven't been able to find a way to do that without. Let me try and see if I put it in. Does that help? No. Trying to change. So one of the things that I'm trying to do is there's a light source. How is that?
It's not bad. You still can't see in the crease of the eye though, but you would be able to see a double eyelid with that. You would be most definitely. This is not a double eyelid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey folks, for those of you here, thanks for coming in. I appreciate you being in here. So what's the what is your success rate with 62s?
It's 62. Anything above 61, the amount of varieties found in rolls is a lot less. RPMs, it's lower. Double dies, it's higher. But they're not like all over. They're not like all over. So I would say that. I search less 62, 63. I go out of my way to try to search a roll every week above 62 or 2. And maybe 1 in 20, 1 in 10, we find something. I mean, we found some 63D double dies in RPMs, 64D double dies in RPMs. We found a 64P double die. 62D, I think we found double die reverse, a decent double die reverse in the rolls that I do. See, that's another thing that I have to do is I have to go through and try to find rolls that I haven't already. I tried not to search the same rolls twice. And all the rolls that I had gotten out, now I've got to go through and see and pick other rolls out.
How's the eye there? Are you looking at?
Um,
Are you?
yeah, I'm
Which
looking
side are
at
you looking
the,
on?
I'm in StreamYard's view.
Okay.
It's a little dark, but you should still be able to see an eyelid because there, see, yeah, it's not a doubled eyelid.
So the way
And
I
that a
have
lot of
it
that goes to
is,
spinning the coin. Uh, and even the thing with the light, I do that on my scope sometimes. I'll like push the light down and angle it a little bit. But I usually can see what I'm looking for. Usually when I'm doing that, I'm trying to mitigate a shadow that just happens to be where I'm trying to photograph.
is that better there?
It's good. It's good.
Okay.
Like when you turn a coin that way though, if you turn it up a little bit,
It gets
it's
lost
still
here.
dark. And like I say, that's your computer that is auto focusing and auto exposing. Now there
Yeah,
might be
because
something.
I have plenty of light.
Yeah.
Like I got plenty of light on these coins.
Well, you can see when you take it, see it exposed it. Your exposure just went up because of the dark background. And when you put the new coin in, you see it. Uh, see how it runs down?
Yep.
There's got to be some way to manually get a manual exposure on it.
I'll have to play with that. Some of it is that it's happening through StreamYard. So
Oh, you're letting StreamYards control your camera.
I don't know if there's a way to change that. Is there?
I use OBS, and yes, there is. You can screen capture.
Well, I'm screen capturing right now.
Well, then if you're screen capturing, then OBS or then StreamYard shouldn't be taking control of your camera as far as the settings go.
Oh, but you know what? I'm screen capturing through StreamYard. That's why. So StreamYard is the one that's actually dictating my camera. That's why.
Yeah. Because OBS can control your camera, and I can tell you that I used to do it, and it used to be a struggle because it used to lock up in the middle of the stream and stuff like that.
You keep telling me, look at that FG. So you can see it if I go there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You'd be able to see the indentation where it would bring you to look closer. There's enough showing in the light that you should be able to see it. Yeah, the sun's starting to come up here.
Not here.
Yeah, you're about an hour and a half, 2 hours away, aren't you?
We're an hour difference.
Yeah, but I don't know, where in the time zone you're at. I know that we've got central time here too. So
Yeah, I'm central.
well, I guess we're in the later end of the Eastern time zone. So yeah, you probably are about an hour behind exactly. So it gets late about 6:45 at your house.
Something about that.
Yeah, I think sunrise is still 7 here, but it gets light earlier. I've been wondering, my pool is like, usually by now my pool's 85 degrees. And it's literally still 78 degrees. And I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going on, because it usually stays pretty close to ocean temperature until like the second week of May. Then it's like warmer than the ocean temperature. And it's cool. And I ended up finding out I've got the Kevlar screening, the tough screen for the pets, so they don't rip your screen.
Yep.
That actually has a sunscreen effect, UV blocker. That Kevlar is a natural sunscreen blocker. I mean, they use it as shade screen, so it takes like 20-30% of the UV it shades it right out. I didn't know that. A guy that worked on pool cages told me that. He says, yeah, your pool is going to be cold until till June 1st now. And when I say cold, it's not cold. It's just like everybody else. They just plop right in the pool. I go in and, as soon as you get near a soft spot, you got to go slow.
That's a good way of saying that. How's Chuck doing?
I guess he's doing pretty good. I think he's doing something with his wife yesterday, because I had texted him and told him that I had to still wasn't done yet, and showed him the progress that I was making. I did get some of the grout down, but I just couldn't be on my hands and knees anymore.
Yeah, I'm too old for that crap. I don't think that I could do that anymore.
Yeah, and then I got 5 levels fused together in my back, so it hasn't been very good on my back either. My back is good for about an hour, and then everybody laughs when they see me get up, because it literally takes me 5 minutes to get off the ground. I go that slow. They're like, just stand up, and it's just like, you don't understand. My whole body's a toothache right now. But once this is done, I've got to do my office to replace the floor from the hurricane. My office is done except for the floor, because the floor wasn't bad. There's just a spot where it had laminate flooring in it, where the water hit it and it like expanded the laminate flooring.
Yeah.
And there's probably mold under there, but hopefully not, because the coating I used underneath it was supposed to prevent mold from growing. But you know how that stuff works. Probably doesn't.
Well, if it works, it's good. See, my light just changed again. I've got to figure out something on this. I need to get a better scope, especially if I'm going to be doing a lot more of these researching, where I'm looking at the coins and.
Yeah. How do you like that computer that you got?
Oh, the computer's amazing.
Yeah, I'm still playing with that. I'm thinking of getting a different graphics card. I'm thinking of going with a Radeon, and then I'm reading on it. And there's a site called Tom's Hardware or something like that.
Okay.
And it seems to be the most diligent for decent reviews. They seem to be unbiased. They basically do benchmarking and stuff like that. And it seems like the AMD with the Radeon, because Radeon is made by AMD, the benchmarks are incredible on it, and it's maybe $500 cheaper for the system.
Yeah, it's definitely made my. It's
near $3,000
with the graphics and stuff that I've put into my streams. It's definitely made it a lot better. Today I had some roboting and some chopping, but I think we had some weather come through, and I think it was weather that was.
Well,
causing
that could be internet provider.
Yeah.
And especially at night, if they do upgrades, they usually try to do them in the middle of the night.
Well, this was 9 o'clock this morning.
The fortunate thing with my internet is, like, I've seen frame drops on my end, and nobody sees them on their end because I've got a 1 gigabyte upstream. So it pushes the data right out. And it seems like if there's ever a flaw in my internet, it's always downstream, because not many people are uploading. They're all downloading,
Yep.
So the upstream pipe is usually pretty clear. I know that I uploaded my monthly files to the FTP server for the website, and it was 20 gigabytes photos. Something like, it was a ridiculous amount of photos, and it literally took under 2 minutes to upload all of them. It was crazy, and it was literally like a couple thousand pictures.
It's weird when I try to upload stuff, depending upon where I upload to. Like if I'm uploading to like my OneDrive, or I'm uploading to Google Drive,
Yeah.
It's like, bam, it's there. But I try uploading to YouTube. Holy smokes, it's so slow.
And the weird part is YouTube is, I think, Google, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it seems like your Google ID automatically is uh,
Yeah.
set for YouTube.
Google owns YouTube.
So yeah, I've got to learn how to do some editing and stuff like that, because the way I'm going to be doing it is I'll be creating these little videos and uploading them, where now I basically do lives.
You and I can talk. I can walk you through some of that stuff. I've done a lot
Yeah.
of editing stuff. Do you have a
That,
software that you want to use?
I have no idea
We'll
about any
talk.
of that stuff.
Hey, folks, thanks for coming in. I know there's only a few people online, but thanks for being here. Thanks for checking out the stream. Appreciate you.
It's early.
Well, I'm going to shut this down here in a little while, get some breakfast, and then I've got to reset the Buffalo stream
Yeah,
because the Hobo stream kicked off when I kicked off the,
I saw that.
and it's like, dag nabbit.
On the
So,
TV, it said you were searching buffaloes, but on my phone, it said it was the Hobo Nickel stream.
yeah, and it's not the Hobo. It's supposed to be going off at 8:30 this morning.
Yeah, I'll do my best. Like I say, it's dependent on whether my help shows up on time or not. If he's not here, I will make it. I might have to leave early, but he said he would text me a half hour before he came here, and he lives next door. So
What's going on, Matt T? How you doing, bud? Always looking. All right, SkyQuest, have a good night. Thanks for being in here, guys. I appreciate you being here. Thanks for coming in and hanging out with me. Hope you're doing well, Matt T. Yeah, when I fired off, when you're doing dual streaming, there is a little trick that you have to do, which is you have to go set a specific stream key.
right,
And if you're going to split stream keys, you have to set up a unique stream key for every live that you have going on. And when I built this one, I was like, well, I'm just going to hurry up and go live. What I didn't do is I didn't set up the new stream key for the vertical.
right.
And so it pulled the one that I had planned. So now I'm going to have to go through and rebuild
Now I
that
see
one.
you're getting close to 5,000 subscribers. Has it increased your views? I haven't looked at your page much.
So my views have gone through the roof. I'm at 3757 right now. I'm
Yeah.
250 away from 4,000. So anybody who's in their chat that's not part of me, if you want to sub it up, I'd appreciate it. So my total views in the last 28 days has been 32,000 views.
Crazy.
But that's basically
Right.
3 videos, 2 shorts and a video.
Well, that shouldn't matter. Views are views.
Yeah.
It depends more on retention than it does on views, though.
My retention rate's about between 10 and 14%.
That's not terrible, because I know I'm acquainted with a fella that's pretty successful, and he says if he could do one thing through the whole, if you could do one thing, watch the whole video. Don't worry about the advertisements. Don't worry about nothing. If you watch that whole video, he makes, if there's like a threshold on retention, and I want to say it's like 90. If you watch 95% of the video, he gets a lot more money.
Well, the money's one thing for me. I want, see that machine doubling there.
Well, I mean,
Turn me
until
off a
you
little
start
bit.
getting in the thousands and thousands of views per video, there's no money in it.
No, I'm making $2 to $3 a video. Like I'm not
I mean,
making
that's probably good. I
on
mean,
the
but
fun.
most people that are doing coins on YouTube might be making $60 a month, $80 a month.
Matt,
Maybe a
how
little
many
more.
people? How many people are in the landscape?
I am.
And there's nobody in vertical? There probably isn't. Maybe because
Well,
vertical
there's
said
only
that I
a
was.
couple people watching right now.
Yeah, I
So,
know.
I mean, you did have 13 or 14 at one point, but that's what I was saying. You had a lot of people say, well, it's time for me to go to bed. And I'm like, whoa, going to bed at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's like, man, just got up. I get up at 5 every day usually.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But my wife, on the other hand, she loves staying up till 1, 2 in the morning. Uh, I just can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I had a bunch of people pop in early. It jumped up and then it went down. I had a big spike and then it died. But that was when I was showing the buffaloes. As soon as I got away
Yeah,
from the buffaloes, everybody fell off.
you hit 7 o'clock, people will start drinking coffee and coming in again.
Well,
But
yeah, but I'll
yeah,
be
you got to
ending
get
this here in a
breakfast
little
yourself.
bit.
Yeah,
I got to set that buffalo
I got to
nickel
go
up,
pull spacers for the last little bit of tile. I did say that I would have that all cleaned up by the time he got here,
but I'm not finding anything in this.
and that's not uncommon. 62p roll. Like I say, I think you'd be lucky if you had 10 rolls from 10 different sources to find something in one roll. And that, I mean, even there's a reason that people don't search the 60s and 70s except for certain dates. And it's not because there's nothing out there. It's because people haven't found much. Like in the mid 70s, there are double dies, like one or two for a date. But being that they may have produced, I don't know, 2 billion coins or something like that or more, that's not a lot. I mean, you're lucky to find one ever, especially now since attrition has taken a hold. But that's why I try to, in my searching philosophy, search dates that don't get much found in.
Well, because when you find them, they carry more weight.
They do. Well, you look at the RPMs from the 80s. They're all worth a premium. Uh, they're not. It's not. They're not bad. And there's some of them are minor, and they're still worth it. I mean, I think that to find an RPM in uncirculated condition from the 80s under $20, and some of them are in the hundreds when you get into the 87D RPM 3 and 5 and 1,
Yeah.
stuff like that. They can be in the hundreds of dollars. And it's because they didn't survive. I mean, they're on the zinc planchet, so they just start deteriorating over time. Anything that's in circulation.
Well, zinc to me, it's like even if you take care of it, it falls apart.
That's true. That is true. It almost has to be hermetically sealed, where oxygen can't get to it.
You think that's by design?
No, I think that the issue with zinc is it was cheap, a cheap alternative. They've been looking for ways to make pennies cheaper for years because it cost more than a penny to make a penny back in the 70s.
Oh, it's like 2.5 cents, 3 cents for a penny.
Right. Now and now now they've outsourced everything. They don't even make their own planchets anymore. They've got another company that makes their planchets for them. And it shows because the pennies now, you compare them to the pennies even 2009 or 2008 is the best comparison. The penny kind of lost its detail. And I'll say that in the obverse after 2008. But it really lost its detail if you go through the years and you look at the details in the die. Where there was failures, they changed it. They made less relief in certain areas, like in the hair. But then, of course, it brings weak point out in other areas. Like now, the weak point on Lincoln Sense is like above the eye on the forehead,
Yep.
always get that die crack from the eye up into the forehead. And that's because the relief has been reduced in the hair. It used to go across the hair because that's where the high relief was.
Yep. You see that little spike
Shoulder
coming
is the
off
same
of
way. They
right there
flatten
at
the
the peak,
shoulder
right
out.
there with we.
Yeah.
That's where that usually comes up at.
They flatten the relief on the shoulder out because they used to get die cracks above VDB and up the shoulder. And that's flattened out now on the new Sense.
So,
And just
Eric,
the
do you know
detail in
that?
general.
So Canada's not making any of the small denomination coins anymore.
Well, they still make nickels, don't they?
Well, yeah, but it just doesn't make sense.
You see, they don't yell about being rounded up to the nearest nickel.
No, you
In the
missed the
United
joke,
States,
dude.
people would lose their marbles if you take 1 red cent from them.
You missed the joke.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, they're not making
I thought you were
small denomination coins. Just doesn't make sense.
right. I got you now.
Okay. Anyway,
Well, like
dad
I said, I lived
jokes.
close to Canada for a lot of my life, so I spent a lot of time in Canada. And like I say, you go over there, the culture is totally different.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And like I say, when they got rid of pennies and they got rid of $1 bills and $2 bills, I mean, the U.S. wants the dollar coin to be successful. There's only one way: get rid of dollar bills, and of course change the size of the dollar coins. Either make them where there's going to be no confusion to a vending machine, because vending machines should take dollar coins now. There's no reason they don't. In a coin lasts, I mean, it's proven a coin lasts way longer than a bill lasts, especially a $1 bill.
Oh yeah, they go
$1
through
bills
quick.
are printed and gone fast. $2 bills, nobody uses them.
I told you what happened when I tried to use a $2 bill at the convenience store.
Uh-uh.
They tried to detain me for counterfeit.
Really?
I kid you not. They called the police for me trying to pass a counterfeit bill.
Yeah, did the police laugh?
Yeah, he was like, "It's kids, dude. It's kids. They just don't know." I'm like, "Oh my God."
And that's the store that's probably had $100 bills just flying right through. There was a thing on, I saw another thing on YouTube about a guy, but he was American, and he found paper somewhere at a craft store or something like that that had a high fiber content. And he was making $100 bills a day for a month. And he
Wow.
almost got caught and he stopped. But
It's unreal.
yeah. But then there was, I don't even know why this was made. It was talking about the counterfeiting, the way he found a way to counterfeit every safety measure, the strip, everything. He printed the strip, even though the strip wasn't in there. Like on the new one, it's like a cellophane strip with gold or whatever in it. But he had different printers that the inkjet worked good for certain things, and then the laser printer worked for certain things. But he was saying how he did it, and it was amazing. And he did it 10 bills at a time. 2 sheets of paper at a time. But I was like listening to him. He's like, so he had a program, different computer that would put serial numbers and change the serial number for every dollar that he printed.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And he even said that the paper was close enough that even though it failed the marker test, it didn't fail because it didn't have that much actual cellulose in it. The paper had a very high fabric cotton content. And that's, of course, why they call dollar bills rags.
Yeah, because
Because there's no cellulose, there's no paper in them. It's rags. thank Levi Strauss for that. Most of the fibers that came into making dollar bills were from his factories. So back in the day, the workmen all had jeans and coveralls and stuff like that, and all the scraps went to make paper money.
It's weird how they do that kind of stuff, where they find the information. Yoxnav is asking about the half dollars. Why do they make the half dollars anymore?
And
A
they're
lot of it,
making a lot of half dollars.
a lot of it is collectability. Um,
And Congress mandates it.
yeah, it's part of the law. They would
And
have to
that's the
change the
reason
law.
the dollar coins are still being made.
Yeah.
There is
Well,
a federal mandate that says they have to be made.
yeah. So the Coin Act, if you go look at the Coin Act, there's every however many years it is, they do different reviews and they mandate what the mint is going to be pushing out. And so when you look at some of those items, it's just, they don't have a choice.
Well, there was a few years they didn't make dollar coins, and I think that it sparked a big political uh, storm. People were like, it says we have to make dollars, and everybody, nobody missed Susan B. Anthony dollars.
No, that was a flop. People
You
hated it.
know, well, I think that people would have been more uh, receptive to them if they would have looked like a dollar instead of a quarter. They
Agreed.
literally looked like a quarter. And I think that's the problem now with the gold dollars. You know, you can paint a white horse black, but it doesn't make it a black horse. It's still the size of a quarter, and it's still, to me, the mint can do better. Coins should be different size. Just by human nature, they should be different sizes.
Well, yeah, and you shouldn't have a coin that is two different denominations that's so similar that it causes confusion because, I mean,
A Susan B. Anthony's exactly the same. It wouldn't have surprised me if they used quarter planchets when they made those coins.
well, with the Susan B. Anthony's, when I was going through college, I worked at a convenience store and we had to go through like the vacuums, like when you had, because the convenience store that I was working at, they had change machines and then they had vacuums and then they had car washes. We had to go through all the change because people would put in the Susan B. Anthony's as quarters. They
Yeah.
would put in the dollar coins. Now the dollar coins sometimes registers it as a dollar, sometimes they registered as a quarter, and it just became massively problematic because
And that was the big thing. I know that when they came out with the original Sacagawea, or the presidential dollars, actually, the big push was the post office is no longer going to give dollar bills out. They're only going to give dollar coins out and change.
yeah,
That lasted about 2 weeks. And the outcry was so loud, I don't want these dollars. And then all their vending machines use those coins.
oh yeah, it drives me nuts whenever you do that. You get $10 back in those coins.
But that was their plan. And I can remember when it was implemented, people got irate, and that was what formed my opinion. The only way this is going to work is to get rid of dollar bills. Canada had to get rid of dollar bills. Paper money's easy to store. You stack it up. It doesn't weigh much. You can have a pocket full of $1 bills. You put $100 in dollar coins in your pocket, and your pocket's going to rip.
Yep, that's truth.
But I mean, there's ways to make it work, but they got to use their cents. Yeah, they have to use their cents. Make it a different size. The gold dollar it's fine, but add a quarter inch around it. Make it. It doesn't have to be as big as a half dollar. I think people by nature, silver dollars have always been big. So people automatically default to a silver dollar should be big, should be the biggest coin because it's a dollar.
Yeah.
Uh, but I mean, if you want to go to the neighboring countries, a dollar coin or a loon or a tune are both smaller than a Canadian half dollar. Actually, a tune might be about the same size because that's a bimetal coin. It's actually two pieces put together, I think. I don't know how they make those tunes.
Well, and I mean, one of the problems one of the problems Canada has is that you get all that, what are the camel toe in the bear's paw?
Yeah.
They're all
Well, they got
counterfeits.
the toonie is like the most popular thing to counterfeit. I mean, I can remember, is it Cad Roll Hunter doing a box, and he found, like 2 rolls of counterfeit toonies, and he says it's not uncommon to get a roll of $2 coins and 1 to be counterfeit or 2 to be counterfeit in there. They don't even. They
Oh,
just use them. They just let them go.
Founded Buried. He's another Canadian guy that I pal around with and hang out with here on YouTube. We were doing a search and he had a box that he was going through. And there was something like 12 in one roll.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Like I said, and then they don't
just
flinch
unreal.
about it. They just
No.
like he pulled them out. Uh, his name is James. James pulled them out, but he said, the banks really don't do anything about it. They're just like, yeah, we'll use them as $2 coins. Uh,
Well, but the thing is there's expected to be over a million of them. So I mean, how in the world do you pull them out? How do you
yeah.
how do you sort that? I mean, the amount of time and the amount of money it would take to sort it out, it's just not worth it. Just add it
Well,
to your
I'm
bottom
watching
line.
this change thing in the United States right now. Everybody says that a lot of mintages are down. I don't know where they're getting their figures from because I don't think there's any published figures yet of how the coin production being done. I can say that I haven't seen I still haven't seen 2023 pennies where I'm at, but there was a lot of nickels. I haven't seen a 2024 nickel, and the first roll of 2024 nickels that I have seen on eBay just went up on eBay. So I'm assuming that coin production is down. And in 2009, coin production was down. And what did they do in 2008? They put mass amounts of coins out into circulation and mass amount of paper money out into circulation to try to stop us from going into a depression. And the easiest way to get that back is natural attrition. You don't print any more dollars the following year and you don't make any more change, and then that money just kind of falls away and it's like gone. It's not even real money. I'm questioning whether that is what's happening right now.
We got folks. If I lose my power, we got a serious storm coming through. The lights just flickered here, so hopefully I don't lose you guys. But we got we got a lot of red coming.
Australia they've got weird shaped coins. England does the same thing. Some of the British colonies have square coins and different shaped coins.
Well, there's the one thing I like about some of the foreign coinage is that number one, the coin shapes are a little bit different. You have pentagonal, octagonal, you have
Yeah.
round, you have square. So there's not confusion amongst some of the coins. Um, but I still don't understand. Like the Susan B. Anthony, I don't get it. Right?
Well,
Uh,
that's what I'm saying. We know better. And like when they made the Sacagawea dollar, it was kind of, well, people didn't like the Susan B. Anthony dollar, so we're going to put a bronze coating in it. That's what
we'll make it a
that's my,
manganese. It'll look gold, and then you can confuse a bunch of people and get
yeah. That was where my
fool
you can pay for
fool the
white horse
elderly
black.
folks by selling them gold dollars that actually aren't gold at all,
Right, right.
right?
And I hate when people say fool the older folks because I'm fat. I'm rapidly becoming the older folks.
Well, but the thing is that I don't say that to be disrespectful. I don't mean it to be belittling or
No,
anything like
no.
that.
But I've said it my
There's a
whole life.
targeted plan, and I actually did a thing on this. It's like
Yeah, I
shame on
watched
you.
it. Yeah, I watched it and I understand. See, I wouldn't fall for the coin. Actually, I wouldn't fall for any of that because I watch a lot of when I first injured myself, the drugs they put you on make it for some reason you're up all night and you sleep all day. And I watched a lot of infomercials, but I can't ever remember buying anything off of them. And I used to watch the coin thing because I was interested in coins, but I never got any further. I would laugh at it. I never got any further than just watching it. But yeah, when they'd say, "Yeah, we got the 50 state quarter set," and it's like, okay. Uh, I did like the 50 state quarter deal. The Mint kind of did that right. Uh,
Well,
it
but just
only
like everything that the Mint does that they do right, they have to go through and jack it all up.
Well, the problem with the state quarters was by the time the program was complete, everybody had lost interest. They needed to do 10 quarters a year
Well, okay, so they should have
or
stopped.
more.
Then they had to do the national parks, and then they have to do all these innovation things, and they have to do. It's like you had something good,
Yeah.
but then they just have to drag it on and drag it on and drag it, and they beat it into the ground, and eventually you're just like, I don't want to collect these. They're not nice. Innovation
Right. Well,
dollars, it's the
and you're
same way.
making 4 billion of them, so they're not collectible.
Yeah, it's like what the hell. Now, where they did good, okay, so initially with the initial push of the 50 state quarters, we had never seen a series like that, right? Where
That's right. It
it
was
was a
new.
planned book, it was brand new, they put it out there, they did that. That was good. There was a lot of good things that come from that. Outstanding, right on, good job. The W quarters, right?
Yep.
Brilliant, brilliant marketing. Only put out 1 million of them. Um, Stick them out there. You couldn't buy the sets. They put them out there in the bankrolls. They stuck them in the banks, and it was a national treasure hunt.
They should do that every year, different denomination, not necessarily W,
Yeah,
San Francisco, uh, just something weird like that. Or
something
even,
collectible. Something.
yeah,
If you have 100 billion of something,
I mean, I'm not saying they should do this, but instead of make your quarters the same, and then every once in a while say, hey, we're making 1 million of these, uh, the first women in outer space quarters. We're going to make 1 million of them, and we're going to put them all across the country. Different, 1 million Philadelphia, 1 million Denver,
yep.
and that's it. Then, like you say, then there's a treasure hunt. And then the next year, say, we're going to do a Lincoln Cent, and it's going to have a different reverse on it, or something's going to be different about it, and it's going to be from West Point, and there's going to be 1 million of them. That
Yep.
takes one press a day to make those.
Oh yeah,
Coins.
easy run. It's one of those
Yep.
things that they got the design element. They make a simple design change. They do the V75. I got a V75, um, and it's an ASE, right?
Yeah.
There's only 50,000 of them or something like that. It's a $400 coin now. It's almost a $500 coin.
Yeah, I mean, like the Mint with the nickels and the pennies for the 250-year birthday.
Yep, the little privy marks that they started to talk about that they turned down,
Yeah, we're
that
going
they're
to do
not
this.
going
We're
to be
going to do. It's
doing.
like they added a date. It's stupid. It's.
So
I haven't seen what they're going to do with the quarters and the dime yet, but I would imagine it's going to be just as stupid.
well,
But it's
so
going to
again,
be
but
easy.
it's like come up with a good idea and don't beat the hell out of it. Hey, William E, how you doing? Good to see you, bud. Thanks for coming up. But don't beat the hell out of it, right? I mean, I get, kind of ride a good wave. But we see this thing and it drives me nuts. I freaking can't stand Hollywood because it's like, oh my God, Spider-Man went off. We're going to make 15 different movies. So
Right.
every stinking movie thing has to have their own Spider-Man. Why? It's stupid. But the Mint finds something that works. Why do we need 7 different coins by this to the same person? Why?
I don't know.
Rosa Parks. I get it. Right? You know where they screwed up on that one? They should have made it a gold commemorative.
Oh, that or
Very low
make
mintage, did the 3 box set, and then really kind of just honed in on that little piece, and then did one good coin, one really
that's what I
good
said, make a
solid
circulating
design.
Rosa Parks coin, but make 1 million of them or 2 million of them. You can
But they
even make
7
five
designs at
million
a
of them.
billion a piece, or 2 billion a piece, or 25 billion a piece.
Right. I mean, if you made 5 million of them in
Why?
20 years, they would be collectible
Yeah. Now they
because
also
attrition
screwed
would
up, in
take
my
80% of
opinion.
them. And
This is just me. You know, I'm a military brat, served time in the Navy. But the greatest generation coins, I think they dropped the
yep.
ball there too.
Mm-hmm.
We had a great opportunity for the Mint to pull their head out of their ass and do something amazing with the semi-quincentennial, where we could have had some really cool coins of yesteryear grace our presence again.
Yep.
Genuinely make them collectible, really nice sets. They could have brought back some of the flowing hair. They could have brought back some of the liberties, like, and do something weird, right? Like a Mercury quarter and a flowing hair, dime, right? Stuff that didn't exist
Absolutely.
before, so it couldn't be confused with old. Just something new, but bring back some of those old designs.
And
They totally freaking missed the mark on
yeah,
that.
especially with the advent of CNC. I
Yeah,
mean, like when I was reading about their die making now, they do make some of these commemoratives that they strike, 50,000 of them. They make the dies from a CNC machine. They don't even make them the old-fashioned way because they're using, let's call it the master die as the die because the true master die is a computer program.
yeah. Well,
And
and
I'm
again, they've
surprised that it's
changed, the,
not
the
that
minting
way.
process has changed a lot. And because the minting process has changed, they're utilizing more technology. There's both good and bad in that, right?
Yep.
Um, the thing is the utilization of technology allows for better counterfeiting.
Well, there will never be a double die if everything's done on a CNC. Now, there can be problems where the CNC runs awry
Yeah,
uh, and screws up the dies.
but that would be a true error. Yeah.
Right. Well, it would be a variety because it would be done at die creation, but it wouldn't be a
Oh,
double
that's
die.
true.
It would be a different variety. It would be I don't know what you'd call it, a engraving or CNC error or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I was reading that because that was right on the U.S. Mint's website on the die creation, that sometimes dies are just made right on the CNC machine and used. So, but that tells you right there, they could make a die if they had a design, and they've got designers, not one, not two, designers working on these quarters, doing designs that they don't use. I'm sure that they've got designs up the wazoo for coins,
Oh,
and they
yeah.
don't
You know
use
they do.
them. Because it doesn't take a bunch of designers to make the same coins every year.
No, no, it doesn't. But again, here's the thing. If you're going to make the same old crap, I don't care how good of a designer you are. If you're going to make the same old, what is special about our coinage lately? Like what? Granted, there's been a few decent designs. I will give them that.
There's been a
But
few decent programs, and actually, the designs on like the women's quarters and the designs were great on them.
no, in some cases, okay.
The
Great.
problem
No,
is
I think in the last 5 years.
they're pushing collectability, and they're not that collectible.
No, that's exactly my point. That is exactly my point. These are standard run coins. There's nothing special about them.
That's right.
Look at what the Perth Mint is pushing out. Look at what the Royal Canadian Mint is pushing out. Look at
Well, even
what the
the
New
British, the
Zealand
Royal
Mint
Mint.
is pushing out. And we got this crap and they want to be
Yeah.
collectible? No. They're missing the mark. They've
And since
totally missed
COVID,
the mark on this.
the U.S. Mint quality since COVID is like way down, at least in my opinion. The sets used to be. I was never a big fan when they changed the way that mint sets were sold, like into the cards and
And
stuff like
that
that.
cardboard, yeah, I don't like that at all.
I wasn't a big fan of that because that exposes the coin to paper. So the backs of the reverse of those coins over time probably will darken.
Do you know Nick's Coins?
I do not.
Okay, so Nick's Coins, she's a stacking channel, but she's a stack collector. She likes numismatics, but she's more stacking than numismatics. But her primary love is numismatics. Anytime she gets a mint set, she cuts the coins out.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I would have to wonder if you got an older when that first started and you cut the coins out, if they would be toned on the back, on the reverse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do
I
actually.
don't know.
And God forbid they get wet,
Yeah.
because
And,
is that an acid-free paper?
well, my experience in acid-free paper is it's never acid-free.
Not completely, but for the most
Um,
part, it is.
You know what I'm saying? That's like PVC flips. There's no PVC in these flips. Okay. And things are good for a while. Then everything turns into we have to save money, so we're going to have these manufactured in Bangladesh. I'll just
And now
quote
there's
the name.
PVC in the flips.
And then they get a sample from the company in Bangladesh. Oh, it's great. 2 weeks later, they're all PVC to save the company money, and the quality control stopped 2 weeks ago when their 100,000 count sample run was approved. That goes back to the toys with lead paint in it. Those I can guarantee you, when the company sent samples to be approved by the vendor, there was no lead paint in it because they were tested for lead paint. And then afterwards, they're just like, it doesn't matter now. Let's just do it.
Yeah, I can see that. I definitely can see that.
Because I know that I use guardhouse flips, and there's supposed to be no PVC in them. And I don't think there is, but I can tell you that they've changed twice over the last 3 years. They used to have this blue tint to them. Now they don't. Now they're crystal clear. And the box got smaller and the flips are less brittle. They're more pliable, and I'm not sure what they use to make them more pliable. But usually a good rule of thumb with a flip is the softer it is, the higher chance it has PVC in it.
Yeah, well, I picked up an order of PVC free flips and I opened it up and it smelled like a chlorine bath. And they were all
But you know, the
flimsy
biggest
little.
thing when you're picking flips up, a lot of them will say PVC free, but right under PVC free, they will say for short-term storage. That right there tells you that there's other chemicals in there that are going to affect the way long-term storage of your coin, like the guardhouse flips. It says right on the box for long-term or archival storage.
For archival storage.
Yeah,
Yeah, museum quality.
Yeah.
That's why I buy these ones. Because that's
And
exactly what it says here.
most flips, 80% will say for short or medium term storage. And I'm not exactly sure what the thresholds are. I mean, short term storage to me would be you're mailing a coin off, so a week, 2 weeks.
More than
What would medium
ATS.
be? What would medium be at? Maybe 6 months, a year? I don't know. And I've got coins that have been in flips for 30 years. And even those, the cardboard flips, are not created equal.
Oh, no, not at all.
They started making these cheap flips back around 2004. The cardboard was thin. The cellophane that they used were thin. And I noticed that coins toned in those. But yet when you got the Cowens flips that were real thick, and I don't even think you can get the Cowens flips anymore.
I'm not familiar with the Collins flips. Which ones are those?
Cowens, Cowen.
Oh, Cowens.
Like,
okay.
Yeah. They used to make the best coin supplies. And I don't think they might not even be in business anymore. I haven't bought a cardboard flip. The last time I bought cardboard flips, I bought 20,000 penny flips. So I've still got a lot of cardboard flips. But Cowens were double the price.
They are, but again, better quality. I have, move this out of the way. So these are my guardhouse. These are my 1 ounce. Right? This is where I keep all my 1 ounce. I'm doing a guardhouse box challenge.
And guardhouse is pretty good stuff, but it's Chinese. I mean, it's all made in China.
Yeah, but they have a little bit higher quality control.
That's my thing. You never know. See, they still do make Collins cardboard flips. So, but they literally are like $4 for 25 flips.
Oh, William E., that stuff happens to me all the time, dude. Where you order something online and then you get it back and it's not what you ordered at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff happens to me all the time. Drives me absolutely crazy. Hey, Coins, how you doing? Thanks for coming into chat. Appreciate you.
Boy, those coin capsules. There's another one. I got a bag of them here. I bought a thing from the coin dealer, and it had he goes, "You want these too?" And they came from Temu. They were supposed to be quarter. Snap the plastic capsule flip things, and the quarters, they're too big for a quarter. But they are cheap, and he flat out said, he goes, they'll tone a coin in 2 weeks. So don't buy your coin supplies off Temu.
Oh man, no. Don't buy anything off Temu. There's nothing authentic on Temu.
Yeah, they sell a lot of coin storage options.
So coins, it depends. So the question is, how much is a cent worth? And that is a fixed question. There are too many.
Double-edged sword too.
Yeah, there's too many ways to answer that. Because you have proof coins. Okay, well, great. What year is it? Okay, what's the quality of the coin? Is it MS 59 or is it MS 60, 62, 65, 70? Is it a reverse proof? Is it there's just too many ways. There's no way to answer that question.
Has the proof been flying around in circulation for 5 years?
Well, yeah, again, is it MS quality? So again, there's too many ways. You can't ask how much a coin is worth ever in a chat and get an answer. There's too many things you have to have. You'd have to say something like, I have an MS-63 Lincoln cent with DDO number 3 that is in a flip. I mean, there's so much that has to be done. And then, is it an interpretation that you made, or is it actually that grade? Is it an encapsulated holder? Well, is that encapsulation authentic? So you can't ask anything through chat and never get a value.
Yeah, I
So,
was figuring he was talking about the scrap value of a copper cent, which is about 3 cents.
well, but even then, so you're talking about pre-83. You can't ask how much a cent is because there's no answer.
Right. Well, I
There's
mean,
no answer. You can't do it. Not without having a lot more information. I was wondering because I'm going to buy a proof coin set from 2000. Okay, so that's a little bit better. 2000 is a pretty common year.
yeah.
Um,
Well, proof coins by nature are worth more because they they cost more. Uh, I can say that like 2022, I bought a roll of proof cents and I think I paid $100, a couple bucks a piece for them. I would imagine 2000 that the coin is worth a couple bucks, just generally speaking in value. The later proofs are worth a little bit just because they cost more. A lot
so
of proof sets. What's a proof set cost? I haven't even looked. Proof set's like near $80, isn't it?
so Yoxnev, I want to correct that. That's a really bad sentiment. The reason that that's a bad sentiment is it's worth as much as somebody's willing to pay. No, it's not. Um, that is something that auctioneers and coin sellers have tried to push out there to justify the overpricing of coins. Okay. There is a value to a coin. Now, if you want to spend more for it, does it make it worth that? No. It just means that you're willing to spend more to get it. It does not mean that if you spend $1,000 on a $400 coin, that coin is now worth $1,000. It just means that you are willing to spend $1,000 on a $400 coin. So I don't like that sentiment. I don't like people saying it because it's wrong. And that is something that auctioneers, that is people that run auctions, that is people that have coin shows and things of that nature, have done to try to justify selling things at higher prices. And so be careful saying that because it's not true. I'll give you an example. Okay, we're going to get with a 1909S VDB at MS63. Okay, so we're going to pull that up on PCGS. I'm going to be pulling this up on my screen. Padow. Okay, so we see that here. This is an MS63. Do you guys see the price point on that? What does that say? 1,400 bucks. Okay, so PCGS listing price at $1,440 is what the suggested retail price is. If you bought this MS63 1909S VDB for $14,000 in MS63, would it be worth $14,000? No, it
It
would
might be
not.
worth 1470 because that 14,000 they do keep track of auction prices, and that's how they come up with their prices.
But
So
it
it
wouldn't
might
be that.
influence that price a little bit.
But it wouldn't be
But
that. When you
ultimately, you overpaid.
So here's what they tell you. Okay, so when you look at these things, this is they will give you historical, and they don't have it in this particular one because I pulled up a specific year. So the
They still should
PCGS
have
price
value to
guide.
you somewhere in there.
Say again? No, it's not in the page that I pulled up. When
Okay.
you pull up a very specific coin's price, you don't get that. You have to go to the general. I'd have to go pull up 1909 SVDB, and then I have to go scroll through, pull up that, and then you'll see the auction listings. So if I do, so I would have to go here.
See, and that sold at auction. It sold in 2018 Collector's Choice online auction. That coin.
Yeah. So let this cycle and do its thing. Here's where you get to see what the prices were, what the auctions are. This is where you actually get to see some of the values per item. This is kind of where you get to look at it. Well, now here's the thing. Okay, and again, so I'm not hammering you, dude, but I'm just speaking the way that I see things. Okay.
He's correct. It was worth that to somebody, but that doesn't mean that's what it's worth.
Well, but no, that's
There's two
not
different
even true.
there's two different thresholds that he's talking about.
Okay,
What you pay at an auction is what it was worth to you to have it. You might want it more than it's actually worth.
okay. So
And
let me
I've
let me
done
no
that.
no 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 no. That's not true. Let me explain to you why it's not true. There are people that use manipulation to fool people into thinking something is worth. They are willing to pay it because somebody led them to that conclusion.
Right.
That
But I
is
think when
not,
he's
it is
saying the
not
auction,
that it is worth that to somebody because they just don't understand. No, it does not make it worth their value. It does not make it worth the price. It does not make it worth that dollar amount. It just means that somebody was a good salesman, was able to walk them through some bullshit that led them to buy something way outside of their means, leading them to an end
right,
result that
right.
cost them
I
money.
I think you're not getting what like I was saying. I
No, no, no. I'm
overpaid
not.
for something
I know
that
what you're
wasn't worth
saying.
it.
I get it, and I'm not being obtuse about this. It just drives me nuts to hear people say it's what worth. No, it's not. It's not. So I'll give you a good example. This
Well,
person who
that's what I
bought this
was
coin,
saying, Frosty, was just because you paid more for it doesn't mean that it's worth more.
yeah, that's true.
Uh,
Yes, yes.
but at an auction, when they say it's the term is used, it's worth what somebody's going to pay for it. It's because it's an auction. It's not because it's an actual value of the item that you're buying.
And it's just a way of them to try to justify selling it for more
Right.
money.
Right. Well, it's an auction.
Yeah.
It's at the final price is what somebody's going to pay for it. Plus, a lot of auctions have fees on top of the fee. So if you pay $1,000, you might end up paying $1,200 for it after all the sellers and buyers and whatever kind of fees are involved in it. Because most of these auctions do have the auctioneer makes their fees off of final value. So it'll be plus, 8% for this. And then there'll be something that it was uh, from this person and they get 2%. So
Yeah.
there's a
So
lot of
y'all,
stuff like that in auctions that people don't realize. eBay is not the model of how an auction works.
no, it's horrible.
Yeah, when you go
Yep.
to an auction,
eBay
there's
used to be
hidden
better.
fees that they don't say. Hey, they do at the beginning of the auction. They say, yeah, and they go. The guy talks real fast and says, yeah, there'll be this and this and this, and the final value fee 5% or 8% or blah 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 blah. They go through it because I hear it all the time at some of these auctions that I've been at. The guy will go up there and he'll say, I mean, even Heritage will put. You go to a Heritage coin auction, you buy $1,000 coin, and it's near $1,200 by the time you're done
Here's a
because
good
they make
example.
their money on the fees. Then they charge the seller fees,
Yep.
so they make more money.
So Spirit Bison,
Speared bison.
how much is it worth?
Well, that depends.
Well,
At
that's my
one
point.
point, the speared bison was worth quite a bit of money. I think they're going for about $35 now.
They were 400 6 months ago.
So they went back up. There was a time when they were literally $1,000 many years ago, and then people realized that they were just a die crack.
Fancy marketing. Spitting horse.
Well, that's it. That was like
Pooping
that Lincoln
horse.
cent that had that dye depression under his eye. That like you've got one.
Yeah, I got
So
one.
I was waiting. Lincoln's Trail of Tears. Speared bison, $5.75.
Yeah, but that's my point. So here's the thing.
$1,000.
Somebody
Let's see what
spent
they sold for.
$400 for that. Okay. My buddy, a great example for my buddy. The Wisconsin quarter. Or no, it wasn't the Wisconsin quarter. It was the Minnesota quarter. One with the extra tree. That came out. Within the first 6 weeks, he spent $1,500 to buy that coin. How much is that
A
coin
lot of
worth
them
right now?
are selling from between $5 and $1,000.
Which
They're
one?
all over the place. Yeah, there's a lot of them for $5, and there's lots of them for $5. But then there's one here that just sold a couple days ago for $1,000.
Somebody got duped.
Here's one that it doesn't tell you what it was sold for. The only good thing on that, well, both of these were certified by a third-party grading company as a speared bison, which I don't get why they won't put an RPM, why they won't attribute an RPM, but they'll attribute and put a speared bison. You know that costs $15 or something to put that on the holder.
Yep. Well, and again, so the person who spent
$350.
$1,000 probably got duped. It was probably somebody who didn't understand what they were looking for, wanted to buy something collectible, got on there, saw this error, fancy marketing, some BS, ran whatever, and they pushed that through. I can guarantee you that if you go back and you look at that, it's not an auction house that is reputable. It's probably some chintzy small channel that probably has, 30 to 40 freaking people that come on there. If you look at the people that bid on there, you look at the history on that particular eBay seller, you can see that they probably have 4 or 5 people that always bid on the same items. You go look at the percentage of value.
Is a problem.
Right? I don't stand by that at all. So Josh, earlier you said by that reasoning, coins are only worth the metal content, and I'm going to tell you, in time, it will be.
I mean, here you go right here. Remember the Extra V VDB?
Oh yeah,
Another
great example.
Talk about that.
Another great example.
Literally selling for $2, $1. Here's one for $1 that sold, but yet people are still paying $40 for them also. But there's a bunch of them that have sold for $1. And that's one that I never understood either.
Yeah, but again, so is it worth what they're willing to pay for it? No. And again, and I don't mean to say this to be obtuse, and I don't mean to say this to cause dissension or something like that. What I want to do is language matters, right? The language that we utilize matters.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Worth is the wrong word when you buy something at an auction. It's
Yes.
realized. It's not
Yes.
worth.
And it's not. So again, it's not. No, if you're willing to pay for something and you want to support a channel, or you want to support a particular auction house, or you go to the Mika Auto Show and there's only 25 of them, and you know that car is going to go for $30 million and you're willing to go 35, okay, that's fine. You wanted that. But if you spend $5 million over asking price for that car, is that car going to be worth $35 million? No, it's not. Just because you're willing to spend more money does not make it worth that. And it's really important for people to understand, because that is a tactic that the people that say that are no better than Coin TV. They're no better than some of these other channels that utilize that language to manipulate people into spending too much for something.
Yeah, that is actually the language. When an auction goes off, the word worth should not be used there. It's realized. It's not. That's the correct terminology is realized. Price realized. It doesn't mean that it's worth that much, because a lot of things at auction sell for way undervalued.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make it less valuable.
That is exactly true. Yep, that is also true. Yeah, you can have something that is, and I don't need to be showing this nickel anymore. That's no longer applicable. But why are you? You should be beside me. Let's do. Hold on. Oops. There we go. I had to remove you and then bring you back in.
Hi, me. Good morning.
Yeah, it is an age-old saying, but just because, so that's the way we've always done it. Those are famous last words before people die. So does it make it right? No, it doesn't. Again, hey, what's going on, bud? How you doing, Jackalope? Good to see you. But just because people say it that way all the time doesn't mean that it's correct, right? Here's a great smoking, right? Lucky Strikes. Hey, good for your image. Look at some of the ads that used to come through, right? Cocaine, good for their health,
Yeah.
right?
My doctor
It's
smokes
the weight
Marlboros.
loss thing, right? I mean, just because you say it doesn't make it right. Just because you say it doesn't make it truth. Doesn't make it
Yeah.
just. Uh, it's just we have real opinions on things. I stand by protecting the community, and I am very adamant about making sure that people understand that language matters, right? And it pisses me off. I have left auctions when they say, well, an a coin is worth. I'm like, goodbye. I don't care if they're my friends or not. I'm out. Because it's like, no, I don't like that. That is a terrible adage. That just means that you want money. You want it's a money grab. That's all it is. And I don't play that. I don't. I'll leave an auction. As soon as I hear that, I'm out. Because it's like this isn't about making sure people get deals. This isn't about it's about money. Now granted, you're doing auctions to make money. I get that. But that is something to make people believe, justify to themselves, overspending is okay. And it's a crappy tactic. Call me opinionated if you want to. I don't care. I don't. I really don't care. My job as an education based channel is to give you guys good information. I'm not going to feed you full of crap, and I'm not going to agree with BS. I'm not, because you guys need to know what truth is. Now, if you guys want to believe that, that's your thing. Go for it. Do it. Not a problem. Not a problem. Just understand that that's not the way it is. So, and I'm not picking on you, Josh. You know I love you, brother. Okay, I'm not picking on you at all. Um, this is something that frustrates the hell out of me. I'm passionate about that. Please don't mistake passion for angst or angry or attitude or being a smart ass or a dumb ass or a mean ass, or I am an ass, but that's a different point. Eric, did I ever tell you why I'm a smart ass?
No.
Because my mom told me to quit being a dumbass when I was younger.
Nice. That was my nickname. My mom used to call me that.
Dumbass.
Yeah.
You know when I hear that, you know who I think of?
No.
Red Foreman.
Right.
Dumbass.
Yeah. Well, my mom, that was it basically. You'd say something to her and she'd say, stop being a dumbass. Always had an answer for me. And that's probably why I am like I am.
Well, but again, having parents like that, you knew where you stood.
Well, we talk about it all the time. Uh, my butt used to get in high gear if I saw a street light come on and I was still outside.
Oh yeah, because you were already late.
I wasn't late, but I was getting there. Yeah, so you really hurried home. Uh, and usually I wasn't more than a few minutes away on a bike from the house anyways. But yeah, I can remember a couple times looking and it's like, oh man, the street light's on. And that didn't just go, the people think, oh yeah, but you should have known. Street lights come on when storms move in. There's more to the street lights than just it's getting dark outside.
Oh no, they were a warning sign.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
street
were
lights
time.
are
It's
on,
time to head
you
home.
went home.
Yeah.
Because a thunderstorm was coming in or weather was coming.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I got you, Yogsnav. Again, I'm not arguing with you. I'm just telling you that the language is wrong. It's auction language. It's something that is meant. Again, dude, I'm
And,
not.
and
I'm not
actually, the true
chastising you
auction
at all.
language is realized. It's not word.
Yeah, that's exactly the language is perfect there, Eric. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. And actually, you'll hear places say that, right?
Oh, that's the actual language.
The actual, yeah,
The price realized. That's what it sells for. Is price realized.
yeah. Yeah, because if they were to say that's what it's worth, they their reputation is on the line. Yeah, we knew that if we were going to be late, I mean, we called.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I mean, then, I mean, I can remember we would get up in the morning, we would go play baseball at the school. There was no telephones.
oh no.
You know, you had better luck with smoke signals than you had using a telephone. Uh, so yeah, you just hit the bike, and I was usually, I think the one school was 4 blocks from my house. So it was literally a 2 minute ride in high gear.
So all things silver. When you heard that buzzing from the street lights, you knew they were about to come on.
Yep, I remember
Yeah,
that.
exactly. It was just like an alarm. Oh, time to go. Uh, I love talking to the community and hearing all this like the similar things because it makes you go back and you're like, yeah, it was that sound. Like when you heard that sound, that's exactly what it was. Like it was time to get home.
Getting a
Um,
refill of coffee, Frosty.
well, I'm going to be wrapping up the stream because I'm going to grab me something to eat. I've got to set up the new one. I'm going to go ahead and cycle this down. I've been on for 3 hours. I need to
Okay.
go get some coffee, grab something to eat, use the facilities, say hi to my wife, kick the kids in the ass. I mean, put
Right.
the kids to bed.
I will
And
do my best to make it. But like I say, it's dependent on my help.
no worries. So again, we're going to be on in about 2.5 hours, 2 hours, 8:30 Central. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going over. I just did a video yesterday, released it on the hobo nickel. If you guys haven't seen that, go watch that video real quick. Here in about 2 hours, we're going to be talking about hobo nickels. We're going to just kind of go over. I've got about 10 of them sitting here. We're going to go over the ones that I have. I have a couple nice ones. I just got to find them. So I'm going to take a few minutes and I'm going to go ahead. No, I'm being a smartass. I'm just joking around, coins. No, I don't. I don't harm my kids. It's just me talking. Um, I don't lay hands on my kids. They know better. I just have to look at them. Uh, but yeah, don't take me literally. Don't go there. Um, but I'm going to go find the other ones of these, and then I'll pull them up, and then we will refrain. No, you don't have to retract that. It's okay. Not a big deal. Clarification on that kind of stuff is fine. I don't mind that at all. I actually like the fact that you called that out. So please don't stress retracting that. You heard that right. You heard that. You checked on that. Again, it's not a big deal. I want to actually say, hey,
I,
thanks for
I
doing that.
think that coins is from another country. And just to clarify, that's a figure of speech. It's not meant literally.
Well, but here's the thing. I like the fact that cents or coins ask the question. Hey,
Yeah,
wait,
sure.
right? Because it's like, wait, did I hear you right? So please don't worry about retracting that stuff. I want to be very clear. I was joking. I don't touch my kids. It's not something that I do. But again, just want to make sure that we're good to go. Oh, no. Yeah, no, I don't do that. It's just I'll watch my language. I apologize for that. But here in about 2 hours, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back on. I got to reset the other one. We'll get this all set up, and then we're going to be talking the hobo nickel again. If you don't know what a hobo nickel is, a hobo nickel is, and there are other varieties of this. It's not just necessarily one that comes from the buffalo. The hobo nickel is something that it predates America. They have been making these for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. They call it the hobo nickel here because of Americana. And this comes from the time of the Depression and what people were doing and the kind of things that people would do in order to make ends meet during this time frame. We're going to talk a little bit about this. I'm going to be showing you some examples If you guys collect these and you have them, send me an email. Show me a couple of photos as long as I can verify that they're authentic and real. I will send you a link. You can come up and join the discussion, and we will talk about that again. That's going to be 8:30. It's going to be here in about 2 hours. I need to end the stream, go grab me something to eat, go do a couple things, come back, and then we will resume that. But so please come back, hang out. If you haven't already, go watch the other video. It's more of a story, more of me reading the story, discussing it, than it is actually history of it. But there's a lot more. Look at the description. It actually tells you the article that was pulled from, the person who actually wrote the article. It's there. You'll see my artistic license in this, in the storytelling component of this. So please go check that out. And we will see you guys back here in about 2 hours. All right, so stay tuned. Pay attention to that notification. And folks, if you're brand new to the channel, consider subscribing. Again, it's free to you. It really helps out the channel. Hit that thumbs up on your way out. And we will see you in about 2 hours. All right, thanks, Eric, for coming up. I appreciate you being here, brother.
You guys have a great morning.
I hope you can come back up later.
I'll give it my shot.
All right, we'll see y'all later.
Bye.
Take care, folks. Be well.